Welcome to Around the Reel with your hosts, Aaron Carlson, Charles Lawson, and Samantha Hanna. Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Smile, motherfuckers. We're talking about Christmas.
It's a holly jolly Christmas. Man.
Humbug, man.
And in case you didn't hear.
What about the Grinch, though? Grinch didn't have a good time. He fucking hated Christmas. You have a Grinch? Oh, you got a Grinch shirt on. What do you know?
I got my resting Grinch face on.
Oh, shit. All right.
Grinch had a jolly old good time destroying shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's right.
he did.
He was a hater.
He didn't fuck around.
He's anti-Christmas.
He was. Yeah. But he got...
And then he met a little white girl that made... Oh, shit.
Changed it.
Yeah. And normal little white girls do that, too.
Hey, he ain't the first one. You know what I'm saying? That shit, you know what I'm saying? Let her look at your ass.
Yep.
You'll be lost in it, too. It's like, I think I believe in Christmas.
Oh, she made us hard off.
Or at least miracles.
You know what I mean?
I do. Wow. Carl, it's good to have you back, man.
It's good to be here, man. I appreciate you guys having me, man. I missed you guys.
We
missed you too. Thanks for coming all this damn way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you drove from, what did you say, Bellevue?
Rain, sleet, and snow.
You're not lying. I bet.
Just in today's drive.
It was worth it. It was shit. It said it was going to be like an hour and 20. Almost took me about 2 hours. But you know what?
Damn.
It's all good.
Damn. Yeah, well, I'm glad we changed the time.
I got my Courvoisier.
Yeah, fuck around. That's right.
You know, we could have changed it, and you could have done it remotely. You could have been sitting, lounging at home,
Brother.
But this is
with
better.
a pair of
He wanted
sweatpants
to-
on.
Brother Charles, you have to suffer for your art, man.
Yeah, bro.
See
You got
what
to
I'm
suffer
saying?
for your art. You
You
have
do.
to.
Look at me. I do suffer.
There you go.
Every way, shape, or form, he suffers.
We're not talking about that.
It looked like
Oh,
you
God, here we come. Here comes the cops.
Oh, no.
It hasn't been bad today, so we should be all right.
That's
You're
good.
barking and everything. That's all right, though. We're going to get you a muzzle and a chin strap, man.
Oh, I got a muzzle. Yeah,
In
you
other
want to
words,
use it? Borrow it?
I think what everybody's trying to say today is welcome to Around the Reel.
Welcome to Around the Reel.
Hey, everybody. Last time we had Carl on the show, though, he was on Zoom, and he was at work
That's right.
when we had him.
Yeah.
And we still did a kick-ass interview with you, brother.
That's
Appreciate
right.
it.
Yes, we did.
But now you're here,
Yeah.
so now we can really get into
Now
some
we
shit.
can really get into some shit.
Yeah.
So if he gets up and jumps up and goes and checks the door here, we know that he's actually trying to escape.
yeah,
Well, I'm running from the dog or something.
that too.
The
The
dog been on my
dog,
leg,
yeah.
man. The dog think I'm
I
handsome
thought he
or
was
something.
gonna. He does think you're handsome. He does. And
Well, at
I
least-
thought he was gonna be a good boy,
At
but
least
he's
you smell good.
Yeah.
He's being a dick.
well, he's kind of being a dick. But he's just walking around. He's not being a dick.
He's like, yeah, Sam, I got dog dick.
But now he's chasing his tail, so that's wonderful.
for fuck's
Leo,
sakes.
that's gonna be a no.
Well, he's a pit, so chasing his tail is like walking slowly.
Remember
in a
when we
circle.
had-
Getting into the pit bull conversation. No.
Yeah. Let's get
Jump-
into it.
Just jump right into it. Just
Lay
go
down.
get you a pit bull. Just like Bill Burr said,
down.
it's like it's having a pet. It's like having a gun that you can pet. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
That's
Yeah.
you know.
That's right.
My daughter and my sons, they have I think 3 of them, and you know they're gonna be who you raise them to be.
Right,
So
yeah,
you
correct.
raise them, feeding them gunpowder, and and leather shoes.
Yeah.
Then yeah, they're gonna tear up whoever they're around. But if
Yeah.
you raise them with love and affection and things like that,
Right.
and I said that off camera that it's in your hands.
That's right.
You'll get what you give, and that's just like with a child or anything else.
Yep.
Whatever
What-
you put into it, that's what you get out of it.
That is true.
So do you think that applies to people too?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
sure.
All that
Especially
goes-
especially children. That's why I referenced that. So and I think we talked about it earlier. Like someone raised Jeffrey Dahmer. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
raised
They
Ted
didn't-
Kaczynski. Someone raised all these people.
They didn't
and
do a good job.
Whatever somebody dropped the ball at least
Yeah, they
once or
fucked
twice.
up.
That's all
They
I'm saying.
didn't hold him enough.
So,
But-
but someone also raised Barack Obama and, people like that as well. So it's just all what it's not as far as like where you were raised and this and that. I think it's by who you were raised by.
True,
I agree.
true.
That's true, but it still has something to do with chemistry too, because you could be a good parent and still have a fucked up
Fucked
child.
up kid.
This
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah,
This is true.
That's the scary part.
And for all of you who aren't,
Everybody knows someone like that too.
Yeah.
if you don't
they
know
do.
in your family who the fucked up one is, you're it.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Oh,
The child that needs their ass whooped the most, that's the problem child.
Right.
He's probably
Right.
gonna be okay, but you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I was that child. You know what I mean? I
Well,
was
what's
one-
that saying? The saying about the pancake.
Oh, burning the first one.
You always
Oh
burn the
yeah,
first
you always
one.
burn. You always burn the
Burn the
first
shit
one.
out of that first
Like,
one.
I don't know, man. I think I rocked it on my first.
Yeah, dude. I came out medium rare, Sam. I'm good.
I did okay on my first
You know
one,
what
but I
mean?
am
I'm
a first
juicy and
one.
shit. I'm good.
Yeah,
I
you
got
got-
burnt.
Your
I
mom
got
should have
burnt.
cooked you a little longer.
That's what my kids say. I feel like I have a lot of flavor, right, Sam?
But it's definitely it has that nurture effect to it and things, but it just depends on were you giving the resources that you needed, were you giving the love that you needed, was you giving the attention that you needed, and things like that. Now there's always variables, but at the same time that's anything.
Right.
But for the most part, they're gonna grow up to be well adjusted or be well adjusted if they have someone in their life paying that attention.
Right.
But if someone is dropping the ball and no one is there and they need those resources or they need that attention or they're seeking those out, from outside sources, then yeah, that's when problems happen. But that's, grown-ups, children alike, I think, pretty much across the board.
I'm so sorry.
agree.
This dog is a
I
fucking
agree.
hot.
I
mess.
told you
love
he
the
was.
dog,
See,
man.
they don't. Carl,
Lay down.
we're gonna segue for a minute.
Man, I love
They,
this dog.
they
man.
don't listen to me. I've talked to Chuck
Lay
about
down.
his dogs at his house. And Sam was like, "Yeah, I'm done. We're at our house. We ain't gonna have the dog problem." Now the dog is in the studio here,
And he's,
I said,
he's trying
"Honey,
to chase his tail.
let's just put him upstairs.
Okay.
He'll
he's trying
whine and cry in the shower." I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
dog's on you." Now look, she can't even focus on the conversation.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Please,
to
Chuck.
Suggest me.
Ignore the dog.
Okay,
The dog
let's
will lay
ignore-
down if you ignore. I mean,
Honestly,
if
he's
you,
being quiet.
Yeah, if
he's
you pay
not being
attention to the
loud.
dog, he'll pay
But
more
if he
attention.
chases his tail and he knocks shit over, like that's bad.
Yeah.
It's far enough away that it won't hit our
'Cause
guest in the
he-
face, so we're fine.
We're
He,
good. Okay.
he
I mean,
literally
I'm quick
should.
on
let
the
it go.
duck anyway.
And I've been trying
I'll
to
let it
teach
go.
him to stay out of here.
I'll let
Like
it go.
over there, he's got to stay.
Oh yeah, he's
now look
not
what we
even
call him.
allowed in here.
Yeah, see, this is
See what
really
I'm saying?
It's all
Nature,
that.
nurture, right there.
One
you
day,
know what I mean?
one
You
day
already-
forward, 1 month
I
back.
know.
You're teaching them, you're classically conditioning.
Yeah, it's like a Paula
Regardless of
Abdul
whether
song
you-
right now.
Well,
One step forward.
okay, we
two
didn't sign up
steps
for a
back.
dog. We got the dog.
I got that reference,
The dog
by the
got
way.
us.
I know you did.
We didn't sign up for a dog.
No.
It just
happened.
just
I have
happened.
a cat, man, so I'm a cat dad now. man.
Cats are no joke.
Cats
Those
Yeah,
are-
but my
Cats
cat
are
like
cool.
found me. You know what I'm saying? I walked out my place.
Did you know you were lost?
I'm just saying, I didn't know until I found him. You know what I'm saying? But he like I looked at the cat and I was like off step by it because the cat's all black, right?
Uh-huh.
And the cat was like meow, and I was like, baby, what's wrong? What's happening? And I was like, I'll take care of you. And then kind of chose me, right?
Aw.
Happened during the same time, like Chadwick Boseman passed away too. So
Oh,
I was
that's
like, that
fucking-
whole
that's Black Panther.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And I was
That's
like,
gangster shit.
I got a Black Panther that I'm
Yeah.
raising, you know what I'm saying? And then people was like, man, you got a black cat and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a bad thing. I was like, well, shit, I'm black. You know what I mean? I know how that feels for people to look
Yeah.
at you
Yeah.
and have that
They
slight
think we're
to-
bad luck,
I was
too.
like, hell yeah, I got a black cat. You
No.
damn right. And
Do you know-
and I love it.
Good
Do
for
you
you,
know
man.
that
That's
at the
Name
Humane
Inky.
Society, like in places like that they do have problems. Both black
Oh, for
dogs
fuck's
and black
sakes.
cats, they
Ugh.
can't.
So-
See
Like
what I'm
no
saying?
one wants them.
See what I'm
Like
saying?
it's horrible.
It's retarded.
Well, Leo's
I
black.
mean,
we
there
love
may be a
him.
correlation here, you know what I mean? We may need to.
I think the
Mhm.
black
Mhm.
ones are the best ones.
Yeah,
But that's
man.
just me.
Well,
They
we
know,
know
man.
that you prefer blacks. And we've seen you on the show.
One thing, they're more athletic.
Hey, more athletic. Isn't that right, Chuck?
Yeah, you know what I mean? They have way more swag, you know what I mean?
That is true. That is true. The swag is there.
So to remind everybody who Carl Covington is, Carl, why don't you let them know what you do and who you are real quick?
You know what? That's a good question, man. Who I am, my name is Carl Covington. I am an actor here in Seattle, also a clothier, and I do a lot of other things as well, so I try not to pigeonhole myself, but definitely in the entertainment field. And what else? What else about me? I don't know, man. I don't think there's shit else about me at all, man.
You are a free spirit who speaks his mind.
Yeah, he speaks his
Yeah,
fucking mind.
Am I?
It's mine.
Yeah.
We gonna find out real
Facebook
quick.
says so because you speak your mind and your shit goes away.
Well,
I'm
the
like,
thing about
hey,
it,
Carl, I was just,
Yeah.
Carl, where the fuck did you go?
like, how would you know? Like, look, man, I think the longest that I've stayed off of Facebook jail this year has literally been about a week and a half.
No shit.
Yeah, because I got off. Like, I was on Facebook jail when I came on the show.
I remember
okay.
that.
I
Yeah.
got off, so I couldn't even post it on my page that I was on the show.
Right.
I put myself on Facebook jail.
Yeah,
Like, I
so-
don't even.
You don't
fuck
even go
Facebook.
on there,
I don't
but-
even go on there.
But
so.
you literally get kicked off Facebook all the time.
Oh yeah, and it's
You get kicked off more than some of the
and
models
here's
we
the-
follow.
And here's the thing, man. I think it's I don't really say anything, so I'll say it on the show.
Okay.
Let's do it. So what got me kicked off this time is they were saying something about Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle Rittenhouse was the one in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that shot everybody and
Yep.
things like that.
Yeah.
It was like, well, he was just shooting, looters and rioters and shit like that, right?
Oh, and child molesters.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
but
Like
by the,
he knew.
by the way, let's get into that in a minute. But what I said was I was like, okay, well, if it's okay for him to shoot their ass, then it was okay for those people in the insurrection to get their asses shot too. And that's all I said,
Fair point.
right?
Okay.
And then I got kicked off.
You
You
got-
got kicked off for that.
Like, you
Oh.
can't say that someone should get shot. I was like, man, I'm literally just piggybacking off what this dude just
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just said it.
So I tried to, argue, but I think Mark Zuckerberg was busy or something like that. He's a busy guy, that
It's
dude.
unbelievable.
But I'm gonna write
Wow.
somebody about it. I'm like,
That is
man. I'm
wow.
like, for real, and you can't say shit for 27 days. So
Yeah, and it always seems like it is the person that retaliates that gets in trouble. You know what? That even happens on Xbox Live when you're playing video games.
Yeah.
Someone could tell you to kill yourself on Xbox Live. You're like, oh, you want me to? You want me to? You want me to? And they'll boot you
yeah.
in case you kill yourself.
Well, I think
They don't want you on there.
They don't want
somebody.
I think that's why.
I think somebody baited me, and I didn't use my best judgment, and I kind of just. was
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, here. I
You
use
went
my
into a rabbit
stank
hole.
brain. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, "Argh."
So let me ask you this, Carl. So why do you find it important to retaliate?
Well, here's the thing.
I know why I do.
and it's
I'm just
probably
curious about you.
because it's petty. You know what I'm saying? It's petty.
Talk to me.
For I mean, on the surface.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, I get that it could be perceived as petty, but to me, I just don't want your ass to go to sleep thinking that what you believe, like that, is correct. At least without any type of opposition or someone to just, knife in and be like, I disagree.
Right.
and
I got
just
you.
be out.
Yep.
And I guess maybe that's what I should have done, but I got a little of my father in me, man. So
I got a little of my mom in me too. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mama
She was the
too,
same
man.
way.
Rest
Yeah.
in peace, baby.
Yeah.
Aaron does the same
I do.
thing, and I pose him this question. I'll pose you the same question. It's about like being the devil's advocate type thing. Like, is that half the time like what you're doing? Because that's what he does.
Of
He likes to
course.
stir up
It's
controversy.
Well, I don't think it's really.
yeah.
Go
ahead.
And here's my side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that it's really sparking up controversy. I only think it's sparking up controversy once it's said, and then people was like, "Oh, that's controversy," and we're gonna ban him for it. But I'm just speaking the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, why is my truth any more watered down than yours? Like, you can say this shit and I can't.
Yeah.
And
how
it's,
I
and,
feel.
and the thing about it is, it's equal and opposite. And none of it was like threatening or anything like that. Or I'm gonna come and do this to you, and because you don't think the way I think. I'm like, I don't care how you think, but this is another way of looking at it. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So just give people perspective.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, like, once you start, making that vanilla, and knowing certain terms, but at the same time, once you make that shit and you start watering it down, then people get frustrated and they're like, you know what? Screw it, man. I ain't gonna say nothing. And that's what the hopes are. Whereas to me, it's like, I can't wait for 27 more days because I got a whole bunch of shit. You
got a bunch of
Get
shit
right
to
back
say.
on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what's the
I know.
Facebook alternative? Because I got like one more time and I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I have to find another forum to talk to people.
I tend to agree with that 100%. There's a stigma you have with speaking up, where you do see people open their mouths
Yeah.
and say a lot of garbage, and they're so used to not having opposition that when you do that to them, they're like,
Oh my
like,
God.
holy gods, what? Oh, he's this, he's that, blah 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 blah. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. What about this person here
Yeah.
that just said that?
So-
and then it comes down to them going, well, be the bigger person. And I'm like, well,
I thought I was being a bigger person.
I think that sometimes I feel like that is because no one else is trying to do that.
Yes, and the thing about it is, it's like there's a lot of people out there who will be argumentative.
Yeah.
And I try not to be, and I'll get sucked into that sometimes of being argumentative.
Sure, because it's fun.
But I try to I try to be on point. I try to know my points.
Yes.
I try to know the situation. I try to know the climate and things like that, and the information to make sure that I'm informed. So I'm not just speaking on something that I haven't studied or looked at or stayed close attention to.
Sure.
'Cause I stay in the political realm and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taught early that if you don't understand what's going on, you're going to be a victim of what happened.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I try to stay in tune, at least keep my ear to the ground and find out what's going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since we're getting older, we have kids, and they're going to be in this world. So me, I believe I deserve the right. I've worked hard enough, and I've made I pay my taxes. I do all those things to be able to have a voice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an opposing voice to knock someone down or this or that, but it's okay to not agree, but it's not okay to not be able to talk about it sensibly. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Right.
And we don't have to solve anything, but at the same time, let's talk about it without a whole bunch of FUs and this and that or whatever. At least listen.
Right.
And that's the hard part today.
I think that's where I get a little more petty.
Yeah.
Because when they start getting all combative and I know that they're upset, then I start having fun with them.
He goes 2-year-old.
I tease them.
He goes straight
because it's
2-year-old.
some funny
Exactly.
shit. He goes,
But
he goes
look,
2-year-old
man,
testicles.
Look, man, here's the thing. It's the proverbial staring contest.
pretty much.
It's like who blinks first.
Yeah.
So if and I'm kicked off Facebook now, so it can be looked at as I blinked, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I think the other person blinked, got scared and was like, "Hey man, I think he blinked first," and they blocked me or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, I get blocked from my family for having a big mouth.
A voice,
100%.
and you are that's the same kind of thing. That's not
It's the same
social
thing,
media
yeah.
stupidity.
Yeah.
No, it's
But that's life.
just in my family. Like
Yes.
they literally block me all
Yeah.
the time.
You got
because
blocked, bro.
I don't filter. They tell me I don't have a filter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's I just talk the truth. I
Yeah.
just say what's true.
And they're not used to people opposing them. So if you have an opinion that differs from theirs,
Yeah.
they all of a sudden have to start talking shit about you behind your
Yeah.
back.
Or
They-
just
Well,
be
well, that's
called
the
that
thing.
going on, and you're like, what
Well,
the fuck?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's okay. So these are adults that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I can
one would
revert.
think.
Yeah, I can revert back to 12-year-old me. You know what I'm saying? To where you're winning an argument, and someone else said, "Well, you know what? Your shoes is bullshit," or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the crippled people's shoes you wearing?
there's Eric.
With that
Pull
big
your-
ass pro wings you wearing or something.
Pull your
Just
shoes
to,
up.
just to be right. You know what I'm saying? Just to be right. And I hate that shit. Just to be right. Because they'll get to a point and they'll be like, or were you just black? You don't know
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
You're ignorant. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Well, cool. You know what I'm saying? And those people like that, I just don't have any contact with. I try not to. I was like, because I already know you trolling, brother.
Right.
But it's like, there's other people out there that I talk to, and they'll inbox me. And they'll be like, you know what? It was eloquent the way you said this and this and that. And I'd love to be able to have this conversation with you. At the end of the day, most people are sensible.
They are.
Even if they don't necessarily agree with what you agree with. I have hundreds of people on my page. So I'll post something and they'll be pro this or con that, and they'll get on my page, right? And I'll try to go in there and ninja dagger, during the conversation.
Yep.
Just to keep people on track and not disrespecting each other. Right.
Yeah.
Because the conversation, the dialogue is the most important thing, and that's where we drop the ball at. We have all this great conversation, like, you know what? I think that there needs to be more resources in neighborhoods that are disenfranchised and this and that. And then you have another opposing thing that's like, you know what? I think those resources need to be for police officers, this and that. Those are all great things.
Yes.
And then we start conversating, and then someone does the dumbass thing like this. Well, you know what? If black people stop shooting people,
Right.
and then once that happens, communication breaks down.
Yeah.
And
Or
the
they
same-
should get a
and the
job.
sa- And the equal and opposite shit. You know what I mean? Just like, you know what? Well, maybe if cops just stop shooting people, yada, yada, yada.
And that's how it starts.
And then once that happens, none of this good conversation that we had,
It's all over.
It's over.
Do you ever think is it a real conversation though, or do you think people are trying to do and say what they know needs to be said, but deep down, that comes out?
I think-
when they get frustrated.
I think
probably
I
good-
think the deep down is the real.
Of course. So So here's my thing too, man. Let's talk about this shit. There's a lot of real talk. There's a lot of surface shit that's going on right now, and people are like, "Well, I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in that, and I don't believe in that." But if you scratch a lie, the truth will come out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, as soon as you start scratching them, you'll see that they exactly what you thought they were thinking, like that racist shit and everything like that. It was there all the time.
Correct.
They don't want to talk about it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They want to act like it doesn't. You know. That it's not substantial or anything, and play that race identity politics shit. You know what I mean? Be like, I'm not racist. I'm not this. I'm like, I don't care if you.
Yeah, I have a black friend at work.
What
What are you talking about?
I have never said the N-word in my life. I was like, I don't care how many black people have you treated like the N-word. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's more of a statement to your track record than what you've said on or off record. Is how you treated people. You know, during that amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Not what you said to this person, that person, but how you treated them.
Right.
You know, let's poll those people and see how they think of you, not being racist or whatever.
Well, I know I've used that in the past. I mean, people have said things to me, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a racist. My best friend is an asshole. I mean, I'm not racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I do.
Dave Chappelle said some shit
so
like
dumb.
that years ago.
Yes,
you
he
know?
did.
And he was like, well, I'm not racist. I got black friends. It was like, what you doing? Counting us? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly.
That's it. Or it was
silly.
D.L. Hughley, actually.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Oh,
what
yes,
the
it
hell
was.
is this? Harlem? You know what I'm saying? I don't want no more black people friends. If you can name, just like he said, if you can name how many black people you know, you racist in a mother.
Yeah,
You know what
seriously,
I'm saying?
you're missing the point.
Hell yeah. It's
Big
like,
time. That's the
I don't
dumbest thing
know
ever.
how many white people are black.
I don't
just know.
either. I know it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you're paying attention to the color of someone's skin,
You know,
then
that's-
it's obviously
Well-
you don't get it. You don't get it.
No,
We're
it's,
dealing with a society of absolutes too. You know what I'm saying? It's like absolutes. You know, it's like either, well, like we either distrust white people or like you trust them and you'll sell out. You're this, and I'm like, no, man, it's you got bullshit people in every nationality that there is.
right.
You show me a nationality, I'll show you some bullshit in that nation, and I'll
Oh, yeah.
show you some creative, awesome, beautiful people in the same, you know, in the same culture, man.
Right.
So, you know, and I think that's where we're at. We're such a melting pot, and we're still trying to divide ourselves into like a pie, you know, like black people and white
Yeah.
people do this, and Chinese and Asian. And I'm like, we can't, because we're so intermingled and we're so intermixed that does not fit here. Maybe if you go to Japan or something like that, or go to another place to where we're, you know, segregated a little bit more like that. But in America, we're too intertwined to be even thinking about it.
It is. That's a fascinating point.
You got to check that out.
It really
So
is.
that's a book I actually found. That book was actually written.
Which one is that one?
Well, look here. I'm looking at your library card, and it looks
Is
like
that
it's
one?
been overdue.
Oh no, that shit. Yeah, don't listen to that shit. But I mean,
Shit's
no,
been missing
no. Look
since
at the book. Look at the
1987,
book.
you know what I mean?
Shit was
You
written.
can listen to a card. That'd be amazing.
No, look at the book. Look what it's called.
Like, okay, look at the information, Carl. Okay,
Like,
you got to
look
go
what's
to the
in
next.
the book.
He goes straight to the back. This shit's
Yeah.
overdue.
You gotta-
For
Yeah,
one
that's
thing,
what we would do.
You
We
need
get in
to
trouble.
do is, you know what I'm saying,
Take
get your
this back.
library privileges back before you.
I mean, I had to keep the book just because it was interesting. You know,
Thank you.
like I mean, it's interesting. Like
Okay, so look here. I was 7
bought
when
the
I was
book.
reading it,
I
and
bought
just,
it. Yeah, I bought it.
I had to keep it.
I had to buy it because I wanted to know how to get along with black
100%.
people too.
Is that what it's called?
Wait,
That's
you know
what
how
it's called.
you get along with black people? Stop
That's what it
fucking,
said.
Don't fuck with them.
Is
No,
that-
I read the book.
Yeah.
I read the book.
What's the title, Chuck? What's the title of the book?
How to get along with black people.
Holy shit!
This is the whitest book.
It literally, I found that at a
my
garage,
God.
guys. I found that at a garage sale,
By
and I had to
Clifford
have
Smith,
it.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
had
That
to freaking have it because look at that shit.
How to get along with
You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
book about it.
But this shit, I mean, this lets you know what
Unbelievable.
this lets you know what kind of insanity that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So we have the same thing, and we laugh at something like that, and it's funny. But we'll go to the supermarket today, and the same shit happens. You know,
Right, yeah.
how to
Yeah.
satisfy your man, or how to get along with this person, or how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So we see these things every day. So this is, you know, it.
It's not
I was
surprising.
cracking on it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's a litmus to show you that it's everywhere around you.
Right.
Of misinformation that people was like, well, I'm going to show you how to deal with black people. I'm like, you going to show me how to deal with black people? You know what I'm saying? What kind of shit is that? And it's like, how you know? You know what I'm saying?
Do you
It's like I
imagine-
went deep cover. I stayed in Compton
Well,
for
my
a summer.
first- my first thought was-
Maybe I should check the copyright on this.
No,
How
my-
old is this book?
It's old as hell.
Yeah.
But my first thought was, did a black person write it or did a white person
Yeah,
write it?
but-
Because I don't want a white person to tell me how to get along with a black
But
person.
here's the
Oh,
thing.
wait a minute. They know everything.
Depending
Sam.
on the book, you may not be able to get along with black people.
Well,
like,
true,
now
true.
compared to
The foreword was written by Bill Cosby, so I'm not going to give this book a lot of credit right now.
That's all right. Bill Cosby was like,
This
Was
is
it really?
Wait, this is from 1971.
Yeah, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So wait, in the Jeffersons, were they allowed to be together in 1971? I mean, damn.
like Bill Cosby.
That's some
this
good shit,
like
though,
this
right there,
predates.
that
Hold
fact.
on, man. This predates the Cosby Kids,
Yes, it does.
and
It does. That's
like
the book.
like you know what I'm saying?
That's-
the Cosby Show and
It's
everything.
when did Fat Albert come out?
Like 75, 76.
Yeah,
some
yeah,
shit.
that was before that.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So you know,
Oh, Bill.
how ironic.
Yes.
It's a piece of.
Now here's the
history.
key. Now here's the key. Bill Cosby don't even know how to get along with black people.
No, he hasn't ever. No, he pissed
That shit,
Richard
like, he
Pryor
got-
off and Eddie
like
Murphy.
all the black people got mad at him. Like, Bill need to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
What-
it's how ironic, man.
Isn't it weird
Wow.
if you flip the script on all this stuff that you're talking about with race, like you said earlier, you don't count how many white people you know.
Nah.
What if you did? And what if that was acceptable for us to say, yeah, no, I got 6 white friends.
You can't say that.
If you can say it,
You
you
can
can say
say it.
whatever
I-
you want.
I-
You're gonna
we
get
could say-
banned, for
Motherfucker,
saying-
you have one white friend.
Well, you know what I mean.
You have one friend.
I know a lot of people that are white, but
Yeah,
I got
you
one
know.
friend. But if I did that to fit in with other white people, so and then they're like, "Oh, cool, he's cool."
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm cool now too because he accepts me because he's got other white friends.
Yeah.
What if white people had to feel that way?
I mean, I think that,
You know what I
Well,
mean?
I've-
think
That's
that's
how black.
I've-
That's what they
I've
think black
actually
people
felt that
feel
way.
like.
I felt that way.
But do you think
I
black
have.
people feel that way?
No.
No. When
Hell
we
no,
hear that,
we-
we're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Now here's the thing.
That's weird.
Here's the thing. This is what I'm saying, and I'm not speaking for all black people. I'm just saying from what I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that any black person would be sitting back and like, man, what the fuck are you guys doing? You know what I'm saying? You like trying to figure out how to talk to us, how to get more into our culture and figure this out and figure that out, but no one just wants to talk to us.
Right.
Or then when you do want to talk to us, you want to pigeonhole us or go to some stereotypical type of thing that we should be put in, or some type of bag, or something
Right.
that we should be in, instead of just being just like your ass. It's like I'm a person just like you. Like I'm a man and I happen to be black, and of course I love my blackness and I love this and I love that, but at the same time I'm a person and I'm having a, just like Chappelle would say, I'm having what did you say on this program? A real experience, a real life
human
experience, a human experience.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm experiencing this shit just like you are. And I'm going through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, and whatnot. I'm gonna need your help, like you probably need my help, but we won't know that unless we conversate.
Right.
Right? But you know this, and anybody who does open their circle up to not just be conclusive to whatever race that is.
Yeah.
Once you start talking to other people, you'll get is like, man, you know what? You're just like me. You're just trying to get your shit together, keep your shit together, send your kids to college and have a great life, and we have all of the nucleus of being the same type of way. And then culturally, we're different. Like I may dress different, or I may eat different food, or this or that. You know what I mean?
Right. Listen to different music.
Yeah, my
It's fine.
vernacular may be different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and things like that. But as a human being,
We do the same shit.
we're
Well,
the same.
and how did it even start? That like, what is white privilege? Like, how is that even a thing? What? There was more white people than black people? Is
No.
that what
Well,
it
it's
started
like,
out?
no, it's-
Like, I don't get it.
Okay.
How did
It's-
that
it's-
even
White-
come?
This is going to be a long show,
Let's
Sam.
do it,
No,
baby.
no, but
Let's do it.
I'm
Let's do it.
serious. 'Cause
Let's
if you
go
think-
back to
No, but
1573.
listen, hear me out.
74, 75.
Hear me out. If you think about it, like
Yeah.
even in like we were watching a show last night, Aaron, right, about evolution and like and how all this
yeah.
stuff,
That's
like,
cool shit. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like, how did it just become a thing that? I mean, I don't get it.
Well,
I just don't get
well,
it.
here's the
I
thing.
don't.
Can I
Like,
throw some
how-
out? Mine is
Yeah,
really fast,
go
real
ahead.
quick. You know how we're saying a lot of people didn't speak up
Yeah.
when they needed to?
Yeah.
Black people didn't.
Yeah.
They were scared.
Yeah.
They were afraid.
There was a
because
reason.
they had a
And
reason
and
to
white
be
people
afraid.
weren't. So
Mm-hmm.
they just monopolized them. They just took them with no fight,
Mm-hmm.
nothing back. So when you're online, How do you think we feel when we hear some bullshit?
Well, and that's
we
what-
fight now. We
Doesn't
fight
that
back.
make sense to all, like, now white people can say, all the stuff about violence and black people and how it's correlated. Well, isn't the violence have a lot to do with that? I mean, because wouldn't you be violent if someone,
But we talked about this on Real Ass News with me and the Humble Warrior.
Yes, please.
If you put someone in a situation with no resources, anything, any animal, and we are an animal.
Yep.
You put us in any place where we don't have the resources to take care of ourselves and this and that, we will eat each other, and that's just the way it is. And so that goes with wild, and that goes in the wild, and here jungle, you pick it. If you put people in destitute situations, I mean, people, human beings have eaten each other because they were in the most destitute situations.
Yeah, I saw Live. They ate ass in that movie. Yeah,
so this happened.
They did. They ate ass.
so did Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, well, he did that for fun though, and he ate brown people. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
At least he wasn't racist with his
dark
food.
meat. He liked that dark meat,
That shit was tender.
And watching cops and shit. You know what I mean? But
No, but that's
But,
funny.
you know,
That's funny.
so-
though, but what you're saying, yeah, I mean, but eating people, whether it be every day, ripping down the next person next to you because you're trying to be above them because you're trying to survive as best you can.
So let's touch back on that privilege thing. You know what I mean?
White privilege.
The privilege thing, and it's not an inconclusive idea, but just from what I see, of course there's privilege there.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't there be? You know what I mean? Just looking at it from a common sense perspective, not just from what I think it is or what I know it to be. And I studied this, and there's no way there's privilege and this and that. There is, brother. Regardless of whether you believe it or not, you get it without even asking for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To where I get shit on without asking for it. And I'm just saying me, like me, individual, black, whatever. I've worn a suit going to, and I was a branch manager for JP Morgan Chase for 10 years, wore a suit and this and that. And when I got pulled over by a police officer, I rolled all my windows down, the whole shit. I put license registration on this and my wallet and everything, put my hands on it, and that's what I have to do. And these are the guidelines that they say, well, if you don't do this, you don't do that, you did this, and they shoot you.
Well, and that's
It's like he
something
moved,
I've never
and
had
this
to
is one
deal
of the
with.
guidelines.
Yeah.
That's what the privilege is.
Well, you
I've
don't
never
have
had
that,
to
yeah.
deal with that ever in my life.
It's like whenever you see someone of color, and I say of color, not black. You feel me?
No, for sure.
So when they're up here yelling at the cops and shit like that, just that alone is privilege.
Right.
Just that.
Right.
That's privilege right there.
Because to get away with that is privilege.
It's like I know my fucking rights. I can tape whoever I want. And I can do this and I can do. Okay. Well, Philando Castillo got shot in Minnesota for telling the police officer, he's like, look, brother, I got a gun, man. I'm just letting you know I need to take it out. Oh my God, he has a gun.
Bam.
Shot
Yeah,
him in front of his daughter and his Now why is this? Now why is all this shit like Sandra Bland and all this? Why we have to knick-knack paddywhack and turn around and Simon Says and shit whenever we get pulled over? Just being pulled over.
Right.
It's like you don't know if I'm a murderer or I'm a this, I'm that. All you know is that I went 10 miles over the speed limit.
Right.
Now why is it all of a sudden this life and death confrontation
Right.
that I have to know all these rules or even educate my son who's 19 to know how to be pulled over by the police?
Yeah.
And they're here to serve and protect.
Mama's got to send their kids out the door knowing that this kind of shit could happen.
And they're like,
that's what's scary.
It's scary as fuck.
they're if black people stop killing black people, and I'm like, well, white people's killing white people.
Yeah, all the time.
for sure.
People are killing people.
Well,
We're not
I mean,
saying
how
that.
many serial killers are black? Let's
This
just
is
be
true.
honest.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
John Lee Malvo
Not
was.
very many.
Yeah,
Okay, but there may be one, there may be two,
that was
but
it.
like,
There-
really.
there
But
ain't
you ever
many.
find out that you surprised as shit? Like even black people, like white people surprised. He was like, he black?
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on,
what's
and he's
weird.
a serial killer. How many people do you need to kill to be?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
There's like, and there's this huge, because again, there's this stereotype.
It is.
There's and we live in this country under a huge umbrella and blanket of stereotypes.
Yes, we do.
And it's hard for us to progress, and I think it's going to take another generation or something like
Probably.
that to get through it, because since I've been here and I'm in my 40s, I've seen the progression to where we didn't have shit to say. Then all of a sudden 90s came and hip hop like exploded, and all of a sudden we had a voice, we had a this, we had a that.
Yep.
Whatever. And then 2000s came, and then before you know it, now rap is the number one style of music here in America, which is incredible in itself. Now,
they couldn't even play it on MTV.
Exactly.
It wasn't music,
not
right?
even just
wasn't rock and roll.
So let's rewind the tape. So we talk about racism and shit like that, and we think we should be so far ahead, and we actually are, because as of right now, if this happened 50 years and 1 day ago, I would get my ass beat for being in the studio with you and Chuck and me and him.
Yep.
We get pulled out of here, and y'all would get your ass.
Oh, we wouldn't be able to be together.
You get the privilege card. Y'all be like, look, you better stay a fuck away from them two.
Hey, motherfucker, I don't sound
Do
like
it
that.
next time, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Your uncle would have said some of that shit.
No, but you make a good point.
But so what I'm saying is, like, this is how far we've come.
You make a good point.
In 50 years. So it's not like we haven't come far at all.
That's true.
We've come really far.
I told my friend Kyle, we was sitting in a restaurant, and it was Barack Obama's second term. And I was actually speaking against him, and he was speaking for him. And I was like, well, there's some things that I think he could have done better. And he was like, what you talking about? Barack Obama is, and he white.
Yeah.
But I was like, there was a time to where we couldn't do this.
Right.
So but this was not frowned upon, but someone would get hurt. So just to let you know that we could sit in a restaurant together and we could talk about this, and we can disagree on something that's so controversial from 50 years ago. That shows you the level of how much we've grown.
Which is amazing.
Exactly.
Like the progression is crazy amazing.
Now we're in the situation to where we're living under these stereotypes, and we're breaking them. Whether it be LGBTQ, whether it be black, whether it be what women can do and can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like women can't do it. It's like, yeah, they can. Like, it's like it's like telling someone now they can't do something. It's like, you can't do this. You're a woman. It's like, of course I can do it. Watch me. Here I'm doing it. See? And I'm being successful.
Yeah.
So it's something different, and we're gonna have to get past those stereotypical things. Unfortunately.
You know what gets me, Carl? The thing, and I think you said it too earlier, and I can't help but hear it. And I don't know if that's that white part of me that comes out, but I can hear it, you know. And I always tell everybody, I didn't really have to deal with racism on a level where I even feel like I could talk about it, right? I was a mixed kid. I went to an all-white school. I got lucky. Michael Jackson came out right when I went to this white school. Everybody thought I was the shit. Yeah. Okay, so that's how dumb it was. But that's what helped.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
I fit in all of a sudden because
stereotype thing, man.
All them white girls had Michael Jackson posters on their fucking wall from Thriller. You know, in the Beta jacket and shit. Okay, so I just happened to breeze through it. But every once in a while, I'll run into somebody that can drop that N-word. Every once in a while, and they did in high school.
Or drop the N-word in a
clever way.
In a clever way, yeah.
Like Prince?
Yeah, like Prince. Fuck that
so here's the thing. So as far as controversial, as far as the N-word, all right, and you know, I'm gonna get banned from this.
No, you can't get banned.
You can't get banned from this.
I ride it, man. I don't, you know, I'm gonna just say it. The thing about it is like, you know, the N-word or nigga is like, you know, black people choose to say it.
Right.
I mean, this thing has become something to where it's like, it's a tug of war thing. You know, you can say it, I can't say it, we can say it here, we can't say it there. You can't use it here, you can use it there, but you can't use it here. You can use it in music, you can use it in movies, but you can't use it in real life.
Sure.
Right.
We can say it in our songs when we're singing in our car and be like, you know what I'm saying? All
Yeah.
that shit. But when we get out the car and we talk to a buddy of ours that we've known 30, 40 years, it ain't cool to say that.
Right.
So here's the thing. It's like, when is that word? And I'm not saying that it should be thrown out or it shouldn't have any power in this. Of course it should have some power because that's what it was predicated on in the first place.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Just like hate.
Yep.
You can never take the teeth from hate,
Right.
the
No,
word.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, can we soften that shit up a little bit? Just like hate,
Be
you
nice.
know, light or something like that.
I have some
So the
animosity against you today.
So same thing with N. You know what I'm saying? The N word and this and that
No,
and whatever.
literally,
It is like, oh, can we take some teeth out of it? It's like, no. But can we look at it rightly divided?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can
It
we look
does.
at
It
it
makes complete
rightly
sense.
divided?
It makes complete
Can we
sense.
can we look at it rightly divided and be like, look, man, there's going to be some people in this country that is never going to accept the fact that anyone outside of black says the N-word. Got it. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is. And then there's going to be other people in other cultures and whatever, whatnot. It's like, why can't we say it if you can say it?
Right.
Of course.
There's like,
Right.
and the thing about it is, what people are not understanding is the people who are actually racist are not saying the N-word anymore.
Right.
I'm gonna give you that one more again. The people who are actually racist are not saying the N-word again. they're not saying it. They play more identity politics to where it's like they don't have to call you an N-word or whatever, as long as they can treat you like that, as long as they can keep you from getting to the goals, and
that's calling them Prince.
That is the dude I'm scared of.
Exactly.
Or woman. That is the person I'm scared of. Not the person that's just coming up to me, white dude. Hey, what's up, nigga? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
No, there's no.
Like you can't say that. I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. It's like
it's like Bruce Lee said. It's the art of fighting without fighting.
Exactly.
They know what they're doing. Yeah.
So it's like.
Well,
so it's
there's
like
the context behind something you say.
Of course,
too.
always,
like, absolutely.
always.
Like if you know whether someone's saying it out of
course,
you know,
spite or not.
You know what it is.
You know exactly. You know it before they even say it. When
you
meet them, you can meet the
comes up to
motherfucker and you know.
Yeah, if my homeboy comes up to me and his name's Matt, I've been knowing his brother since I was 13. He's Filipino and white. He was like, "What's up, nigga, man? I love you."
Mm-hmm.
And he's the godfather of my children. I'm a godfather of his.
Yeah.
But he ain't supposed to say that to me.
Right.
But then you know what I'm saying. I'm supposed to be okay with the shit happening on this side. I'm like, man, it's like
I get it.
It's an old idea.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like racism. Racism is an old idea, and we're holding on to it.
Yeah.
We ain't holding on to it because racism don't do shit for people of color.
No.
But
not necessarily. No.
White people
when
I define white, I'm talking about white people with that type of white idea of racism.
Which there are a lot.
That's what they holding on to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got about 50% of the country that we still got to fight on this shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to finish with there earlier was you had said that you're proud to be black. You know that you have that you're proud.
Yeah, of course.
Imagine what that would sound like if a white person said it.
Yeah.
And I mean and black people feel the need to say that because we've been put in a spot for so long. And to me that's so fucking sad that I got to sit here and say that I got pride in my color.
Now
that's sad shit.
Now let's argue that little sliver of information that you just said.
Please do.
You said, "Man, I'm proud of being black and this and that." And what did you say about white people? I want to make sure I reference it correctly.
If they said, "Well, I'm proud to be white."
Okay. Now, here's that little sliver of information there.
Who's proud to be white?
But see, they don't have the need to say it. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing. If we're going to live in a free society, and this going to be controversial, whatever, people are going to have their own way of looking at it. Dude, I don't give a shit if you're proud of being white. Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. That's awesome. But the idea behind that is something that we need to address. What does that mean by being proud of being black or white? Because proud of being black just means I ain't broke. And just means I can go to college. It just means I have an opportunity and a chance to make it.
That's the meaning.
That's what proud of being black means. That means proud of being black is I made it out of my situation and I made something out of nothing. And
but there never should have been a situation.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But you do live through it.
Yes.
And you do live through it. And when you come out of it, not to say that white people haven't been through there.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is like we fight through this and we get to a certain stature. It's like, man, I'm proud of of who I am because in this country, not in fucking Africa, here, it's not expected.
Correct.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
That's why I'm proud of being that shit.
I gotcha.
And it's like when you're white and you saying I'm proud to be white, it's like, brother, you kind of like expected to like run shit. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether you're a nerd, you don't know how to play football or this and that shit. I got to learn how to jump high or run fast or this or that, or I got to be the most intelligent dude in the neighborhood for them to pick me out and be like, we're going to give him resources.
I guess I asked that question to you, Carl, because I want to get your opinion on it because I find it really sad that when I say I'm proud of something, I say I'm proud of me. I've never said I'm proud to be black.
Everyone
and I don't mean I'm
who
they are, right? So in my mind, when I hear someone say I'm proud to be black, I'm like, damn, man, in my mind, I can't help but think they have to say that because they've got so much shit.
I don't
for
know.
being black.
Here, the next time you hear it, I want you to hear it with new ears.
I'm trying.
Okay,
I'm trying.
This is what they're saying.
But do we have to?
I am proud of being a person that is noticed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm black. It was because I'm not noticed. You see what I'm saying?
Can we take it away from people though if we don't say that? That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, you can, but then again, that's an identity thing too.
Do you think white people get upset when they hear that?
Yeah, of course they do.
I'm white as all
See,
white, and I'm
so if
embarrassed
we,
to be white.
Again, I'm gonna throw my hand up here. I'm gonna throw the flag on it. We're not okay. It's my daughter. My daughter's 17 years old, and it's gonna be clowning. It's gonna be clowning if I'm gonna say it.
Got it.
So she said this to my wife. You know what I mean? My wife is white and everything, and she was like, "Well, she was like, you know, she was saying something about black people. My wife was like, well, I'm white. He was like, well, we ain't talking about you because you ain't white.
Right. No, and I get that.
And you know what I'm saying?
I totally get that.
But we have to say that too. This becomes a part of our vernacular. It's like, you're not white.
Yeah. You're not
You
white.
know what I'm saying?
I get
You're like, you ain't white like this dude's white. Like, he racist. He got the,
that's the
you know,
white
he got the Confederate flag and shit. You white, like, that's just.
When we say white, we're talking Trump
you know,
white.
you
We're not
Irish.
Karen white.
I don't have a gun rack. In the back
Yeah,
of my
you know what I
truck.
mean?
Exactly. See, there's good Asians and there's bad Asians.
So there's a different
Wait,
type
there's
of
no bad Asians.
and
What is wrong with
it's corny. It's corny that we have to get there because it just seems like we're sectioning. Like I said,
Yes, we are.
We're like, this section is, you know, BLM, or this section is Proud Boys. This section is like LGBTQ. This section is black people. This section is whites. This section, and all this shit, you know. And we're trying to coexist in a country and be sensitive and, you know, be respectful of each other. Right. And still living under this, you know, this really, really bullshit, sophisticated way of racism. And we don't know how to think our way out of it. Well, the reason why we can't is because we don't talk about it. As soon as we start talking about it and we're getting to the bottom of it, we start arguing. And as soon as we start arguing, there's no communication that can be had.
Absolutely. I agree.
But don't you think that there's a world that will be one day where
of
there
course.
isn't race? I mean,
100%.
we're all mixing.
Yeah.
We're all mixing.
That's why.
That's
And
been happening. And that's
there
why you see
will
the
be-
changes that Carl's talking about.
So
I mean, that's
eventually,
why.
we're all gonna be one color. So
Or-
what difference?
Or a
does
mixture
it
of all
make?
words somehow.
Or, you know, I just think that again, we've you know, we've come so far as a country to where, like, again, when I say racism is an old idea, I mean it. Like, people are always going to have those racist ideas. Like 100 years from now, you're still going to have it. But does it work in this society? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, does it work? Does this
Not
shit work?
really,
Can you do
no.
it anymore? Like, you
No.
can pull this shit in 1964
Yeah,
because
but
we
not now.
were not as educated. We were not as connected. We didn't have the internet. We didn't even have the web. We didn't have any of these things for us to really look at these things and look at it and be like, you know what, bro? This is some bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm a white dude. This is bullshit. Or I'm a
Right.
black. This is, you know, we didn't have that. So I think a lot of the information that we have now there's one or two ways. It's either going to arm these people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a
Right.
powder keg,
Yep.
and we're gonna have a race war or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be, as a society collectively, we're gonna be like, you know what, this shit is an old idea and we have to move forward. And this thing of racism and this and that, I mean, it had its place in our culture, it had its place in our history, but it doesn't fit here anymore. You know? And then, you know, responsibility would dictate. It's like, okay, now we have to make laws and things like that to dictate these things.
Right,
you know,
right.
To make sure that people are looked at rightly divided across
Right,
the board and
right.
and not, you know,
And not to hold against
Yeah.
people who were stuck in their ways, which were right at that time with whatever was going on. But that's not today.
this shit
That's
don't.
not today.
You know, it's the same
So,
thing. It's like
yeah.
the same thing as the Tootsie Roll or the Cabbage Patch. It don't fit into
Right, no,
because
it don't work.
it's just it's not that it ain't a cool dance, man. The
No,
Running
no.
Man was a cool dance.
I'm sorry, racism is not nostalgic.
No,
I'm sure Charles over here still
Well,
do
that's-
the
I struggle.
do the Running Man. Dude.
So I was doing the whole genealogy thing, guys. I was doing that.
Yes.
And I ran into a document that told me that one of my ancestors, one of my great-great-grandfathers or whatever, owned slaves.
Oh, fuck, I'm out of here, son.
Uh-oh.
I'll see you
And
later.
So, like,
Unbelievable.
No, but listen, I struggled with that.
Yeah, it bothered you.
For a while. It really did bother me because that's, you know, my family and I come from that and that's hard to deal with, hard to take. However, looking
Yeah.
at it the way you say
Yeah.
it, Carl, where you put in perspective like the time, the era,
Yeah.
you know?
Of course.
Yeah.
And so I can't really
No,
blame
it's not.
them for
Yeah.
the way that things were
No,
then.
no.
Yes.
Just to move
If
on.
anything,
and
you can be
change, you know.
shocked.
I'm
you know?
actually proud that
Yeah.
it went from there to here.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what he's saying.
you know,
That's
and
exactly what
yeah.
And
I'm
that's the
saying.
thing. So
So it's pretty hopeful for a guy who gets kicked off Facebook all the time.
So it's the same thing. So just like you learning that information,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that I learned. My great grandfather was a slave. It was like, okay,
Right.
that it shouldn't shock me. It was like, for the time, it was like, you pretty much fall into the, into the
time,
percentages
that's what it was.
of people that would have
Yeah.
been a slave during that time. So
Right.
I'm shocked if he wasn't a slave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Right.
shocked if your grandfather, great wasn't a slave.
And you're like, how'd you
Right,
get out of
right,
that
right.
shit?
Like,
How'd you get out
do
of
that shit?
'Cause
That's
that
some
was-
no joke shit.
That was the time.
So not to, I mean, the reason why we have history is so we can learn from it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we can look at it and be like, well, we ain't gonna do that shit. That's 5 to 10. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah.
You ever seen that not work for somebody, right? So we gonna try to
Right.
we gonna try to do it this way. We gonna
Right.
you pivot.
You learn. You live and
you
learn.
pivot. You
Yeah.
turn left instead of turn right, and hopefully we start getting better people.
Yes.
So and here's the
And
thing.
raising
And
better
here's the
people.
thing: if you want to think further into it, like say, what grandfather was it? Which one was it?
I'm not exactly sure,
Okay.
but it was
So,
like
was
it
deep
was
back.
like
So-
it was
so-
like 4 grades.
So I bet
Or
you.
a 4th grade grandfather.
So here's the thing: I bet you $10 to a bucket of shit that the rest of the people that came before him into a generation, maybe 2 generations before you, thought the same way, even if
Probably.
they did not
Right.
have. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was the mentality of slavery after slavery was over. The mentality of people of Paul Mooney said it eloquently. He was like, people will never white people will never let black people get away with that shit because they never, like, them being free was never in the plan.
Well, this is what
Yeah.
brought me
You see what I'm
comfort
saying?
about the
I
whole
do.
situation was the document I was reading said that it was his will and testament and it set his slaves free. He set his slaves free in his will and testament. So that was, it was, what do you call it?
Bittersweet?
Yeah.
It was bittersweet because it was
course.
like, oh my God, he owned slaves, but he set them free when he died.
Yeah,
So
then
they got
somebody
to-
else just scooped them up.
No.
They had
He
no
set 'em
skills
free.
and this and
You
that.
don't
Yeah.
understand what that meant. What that meant was they were free. They couldn't be. No one else was gonna.
But we're still
But
dealing with that
It's
shit.
not always
So-
necessarily a thing of
so-
somebody purchasing somebody
so-
as somebody just taking
So
somebody back then.
so let's
Well,
look at
I guess so,
let's look at the positive in it. All right.
That's what I
At
was-
least he had
yeah.
the wherewithal and the
Yeah.
mentality to be like, you know what, I'm gonna let these slave whatever. And it could be
These
it,
people
it,
go.
it could have been something simply as like, I just want my conscience cleared. Even
Yeah.
after I had them for
Even-
slaves my
yeah.
whole life, I'm
Yeah.
80 years old. I'm gonna die now, so I'll be dead. My conscience is clear, and you're free. It was like, well, okay, you're free, and now what?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just like me, what my 10-year-old, and I just kick his ass out the house and be like, you're free.
Yeah.
Go and
do your
live.
thing.
Do
Go
it.
and
You
figure
got
out.
it. We believe in you.
Is that really a good
It's
thing?
like,
at
can I
that
get your
point?
help? It's like,
Yeah.
help for what? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Yeah, I did
You
what I
got
was
this.
supposed
I
to
let
do.
you free.
Right,
So,
right.
They'll figure
So
it
it
out.
was a struggle for
Yeah.
me to like hear that, see that document, and try to process that, and know that like that was my ancestor,
Yeah, it's fucked up.
and that's
I mean,
what.
yeah, man. I mean,
but
I
that
can- I
was
can-
what
but
it
I'm-
but
was.
we come from here, man. I mean,
Yeah.
so
This is where we
that
come
is
from.
this is our history. So this is our history,
Yeah,
and it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
it is.
So we live in this country. That's our history. This is what we're dealing with now. This volatile climate of Kyle Rittenhouse, whether he shot those
Yeah.
people in Kenosha and whatever,
Uh-huh.
whatnot, and people was like, well, he was defending himself and this and that, and then you have Ahmaud Arbery who was killed by these men who ambushed him and this and that. So we still.
Oh, you mean in the pickup truck?
Yes, of course. So
Yeah,
we
of
still
course.
deal. So we still deal with these things, and
Yes, we
there's
do.
and there's
Yes,
we
we
do.
do.
and there's going to have pockets of people who can never get by that thing to where they'll look at me and I won't say nothing. I'll just be just a person walking, and they'll look at me and be like, I can't believe he's free. There'll be people who think like that.
Yeah.
But there'll also be people who are like, man, I wonder who this guy is. I would love to meet him and this and that, and share resources in the whole nine. So and that's what we have to do. We have to
we
rightly
live in
divide.
a generation where we have to. It's a generation that's in the process of discovering
Yes.
that we're all people.
Well,
So
we're-
we're right in the middle of it, and like there's a debate still going on
Yeah.
about there's people that don't actually believe that.
Yeah.
There's people that do.
Unfortunately,
It's crazy.
I know. Well, unfortunately, what I think Carl was onto something earlier, and I usually don't think this way, but I could see it happening more so than not. Sooner or later, people that think that way are going to be in the minority.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And their back is going to be against the fucking wall.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Of course they will.
They'll fight back.
Of course they
Yeah.
will.
Okay, so you're going to have the
That's
same
what's
kind of
happening.
shit
Yeah,
that was on
that is
January
what's
6th.
happening.
People
So-
are going to
so
freak the fuck out
it's
because they
happening
can't
now.
have that
Yes,
have
it
that.
is.
They can't have that happen.
Do you understand? So,
Yes, they can't have it happen.
Aaron, I want to speak to what you just said.
And that's scary.
And that's 100% right. But here's the thing. You're projecting like it's going to happen. It's happening.
Slowly but surely.
That's not slowly, immediately. That's what's happening. There's this powder cake shit.
It's happening now.
You know what I'm saying? This is what's happening. And-
Our kids, our
yeah,
children.
and I said this
they
on
don't-
Real
they don't-
Ass News almost 2 years ago. I said, look, man, the thing is, like, with Trump and this and whatever, and people, whatever side you stand on, that's cool, because we can talk about this. And I'm not saying he incited the riots or instigated, but what I'm saying is you didn't help it, brother.
No,
You didn't say stop.
because he didn't get
You know what I'm saying? It was
He
like,
did
well, I
incite
didn't
him.
start it. It was like, well, you had all the power to be like, hey, man, stop that shit.
He
Yes.
incited him.
Everybody
But
would
it
stop.
wasn't good for ratings for him.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is, like, all of these things are happening. You know what I mean? And they're happening right now. And we're a country that's like pocket. Like it's quiet shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't like overt. It's like I remember being in school and I wanted to kick somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't say nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? I just looked at them. Every time I looked down, I'm like, man, I'm beating shit. You know what I'm saying? You say, and that's how it is. It's subliminal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah.
But it's there and it's there strong.
Yeah.
And it's every bit as strong as it, used to be in its heyday, because they're more militarized, they're more organized, they have more resources, they have more this and they have more that.
Yep.
So it is there, and that's what makes you think is like, holy shit, where are we going? You know what I
Well,
mean?
if they're going to attack,
how can this be
if they're gonna attack the
2022?
Capitol, they're going to
Yeah.
give a shit about our black
Yeah,
asses.
you know
They're
what I'm saying?
not.
And
They're not.
look, I was on this show called Speak the Truth and everything. He was like, well, I was at the Capitol, and it was like, it wasn't all those people weren't rioting and this, and I was like, brother, so you trying to tell me that all of y'all was there, right? All y'all had guns and everything, but you're not the ones that went in the Capitol, right? It was like, no, we didn't. I was like, well, you had guns, right? It was like, yeah. It was like, why didn't you stop it?
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
It was
Stand
like,
up for your country.
oh, you can't stop a big militia like that. I'm like, motherfucker, y'all was like 4, 5, 6
You had
times
guns. They
bigger
didn't have
Yeah,
guns.
remember?
than this crowd. None of you guys had the wherewithal. It was like, well, sometimes you just gotta burn down some shit and this and that. I was like, that's what the rioters was saying.
Yeah, and you didn't
That's
like
what
that
they
shit.
ass was saying. You was mad at them for burning down mom and pop store,
Yeah.
but yet your ass go to the state capitol,
The
the
country's
capital,
Yeah.
and just, you know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm
shit
with
in
you.
Nancy Pelosi's chair. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Shit like that.
They
So,
didn't give a fuck.
so what I'm saying is like you want these things just like the Tiki Torch boys. That you want all of these. Again, that's privilege. All right? Because let a bunch of brothers go up there and be like, whites will not replace us. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
some shit like that. Or let black people say, Jews will not replace us.
Right.
Let us say some
Or
shit
you
like
get a
that.
crowd of black people attacking the
You know what I mean?
Capitol. What
Yeah, and it
would
was
happen?
like, well, nothing's going to happen. I'm like, that's bullshit.
They'd be like,
Shit happened to...
drop a bomb. We can
Yeah.
take out half of them right here.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
We can
You know what
rebuild
I
the
mean?
Capitol.
Like, well,
this
that's
is a great
good.
opportunity to take
You know
them
what
all
I mean?
out.
Sometimes the garbage takes out itself. You know what I mean? That's how, you know what I'm saying? Like shooting crabs in a barrel here, baby.
Oh
Like
my
we should do
God.
this every year. You know what I mean? It's just trim the fat off all these people. But you know what I mean? It's like so they let you know
Oh my God.
what's the mentality behind it, man. I mean, you telling me your ass had all this time to get cops and everything again, man. I was a part of this thing there to where a bunch of brothers, man. It was like 200, 300, 400 of us, right? We all got dressed up and everything. We was in suits and we went downtown towards the Space Needle and everything. Cops didn't fuck with us at all, right?
Oh, okay.
Because it's how you come.
That's how you show
Now,
up.
if we would have came in there like this shit,
Or
like
just
with
like
guns,
militia?
like just camouflage,
Yeah.
no guns, no nothing.
Yeah, show up dressed up like Black Panther and see what
Exactly.
happens.
So what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
how did this shit happen? How
I
did
don't
y'all
know.
go to the state capitol, have guns and all of that? And so what it just blows my mind. Like, no one talks about this. Everyone talks about the act of going into the state capitol. No one talks about what happened in a linear time frame leading up to it.
And and that's what they're trying
see
to
what I'm
get
saying?
out there to the world, but
Yeah,
they ain't
So-
gonna let that. It's
and-
confidential.
and try to give
it's
you bits and-
privileged
bits and
information.
pieces of information
Yeah.
to lead people on and anger people
Sure.
and to let them be okay with what's happening. But people who have common sense looking at it, white and black or whatever,
Sure,
color,
yeah.
looking at it was like, brother, that's bullshit.
There's some bullshit
We can't
wrong.
do that.
No.
Yeah.
No. And there's a
We
majority
can't do
of
that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, and then it's not about, well, y'all talk about black people and then y'all go do this shit. It's like, no, man. This just lets you know the type of privilege that you have. Do you understand? That you can do this shit and people will be like, right this way, go ahead. And not do nothing. And some people were ushering them in. And so many other people that didn't get shot. Yeah. Like, didn't, you know what I'm saying? It is, they talk about the martyrs of it who got shot. I'm like, look at all the people that should have got shot in but didn't. I call that restraint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they know.
Like the whole police department should be on Time magazine for just showing restraint. Because they could have literally just came and dumped on people.
They could have.
Do.
They really could have.
Well, and when you talk about that certain situation, there was black people there that were actually on their side. So that's their whole argument was, oh, it's not race.
You ever notice that shit?
It's got nothing to do with that.
Oh, baby, let's do that. I love
that's their argument, you know?
I love when they, oh my God, I love when they throw, it's not even the token black person at this time. You know, it ain't even, you know, let's just, here's the thing. It's like we can do this because a black person said, you see what they said? They said this shit the same thing we're saying. You see what I'm saying? Yep. It's like, no, man, find me 30 more black people like him.
Right.
Because I see you got him. Yeah. Well, give me like 20 more black people like him that says the same shit. Right. And they was talking about black sit and this and that, you know, black people going over to the Republican side. Okay, it's a black exit. 20% of black people are going over. I was like, motherfucker, that means there's 80% that are not.
Yeah. Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I know where I'm putting my money.
Yeah, you can kill me percentages wise, but at the same time, when you look at it for what it actually is, it's like there's 20% that aren't. Yeah, it was like, well, 50% of Caucasians voted for it. I was like, well, 50% didn't.
Exactly.
80% of women didn't.
There won't be any.
I'm with you.
We won't be able to say that because there won't be one race.
Exactly.
There will only be one race.
You know, sorry. I want there to be some. You know, I don't want everybody to just be beige. You know?
No, me neither. It's boring.
I literally want everybody to be fucking beige.
Nah, I just want everybody.
People are beautiful.
I just want everybody.
You with the wrong man. You can't make a dark baby to save his life.
Oh, no, that's fucked up.
But they're beige though.
They're beige.
So here's the thing.
They tan really good.
My kids are gonna hear this, right? My kids gonna hear this. Right? And they beige, but I love the shit out of them.
Yeah, my kids too.
So my daughter is like, Dad, I'm gonna marry the blackest man I can find and bring our color back. Because if I marry one more white person, Dad, we ain't gonna have no black in us.
My middle son says the same thing. He wants to get a black woman.
Oh yeah.
He's like, no, because black people are shit.
My son, he was like, man, Dad, I think I feel I have a responsibility.
No, Aaron's son has already named his kid Reggie.
Reggie, yeah. He's like, I got a boy named Reggie. My first son's
named
Reggie. I'm like, dude, that's badass. Reggie's name. That's
with a black woman, completely like totally black.
And so here we are, and I'm glad that we're able to talk about this.
Sure.
You know? And the thing about it is, like, people don't talk about.
Oh, wait a minute! Isn't this a filmmaker and artist, creative podcast?
Yeah, we're talking to an actor.
Oh yeah, that's right. Continue, Carl.
Two of us are white.
We're talking to Carl Covington. He just happens to act.
Yeah. So you know, and if we look at things from a linear standpoint,
yes, sir.
You know, and that's why I try to look at things, you know, and like I said, when I say the words rightly divided, I truly mean rightly divided. Let's look at it for what it really is, not for what, you know, society says it is, or the media, or this and that. Let's look at it for what it is and actually break it down and talk about it like people. Mm-hmm. Because for the most part, even people that don't agree with what you're saying, if you sit down and you respect them, and, you know, you can have a level of respect, they will have that conversation with you. I've had hundreds of them, you know, with people who have inboxed me and was like, Carl, this is bullshit, and all this and that. I was like, I know it's bullshit, but we're not going to get to anywhere if we start here.
Yeah.
You know, we got to start to where it's like, hey, you know what, brother, let's talk to each other, because I think this is bullshit. You know, what can we do? How can we, you know, how can I be better as a person? You know, yada, yada, yada. But these are the serious conversations that we have to have. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not the 70s kids anymore to our parents were, you know, Woodstock and shit like that. We're not those kids. We're Generation X, Y, and Z. You know, we're that generation that was raised with the internet and hip hop and gangster rap and, you know, all kind of shit. That's what we were, you know, 9/11, you know, that's what we were raised with. So, we're ready for those hard conversations. We're just not having them. We're still having those vanilla ass conversations. That's like, well, if black people start doing this, maybe this will happen. Well, if cops start doing this, what about white people? We're still having these silly ass conversations that lead to nowhere, and it's just pointing fingers.
Well, and they're not real.
Yeah,
No one's being real about all of it.
No.
I'd like to go back to a conversation I had with Aaron back in 2002.
Jesus.
When he told me that Yeah, 2002.
This sounds like
we were living together at the time, and he was like, "Dude, it's just not right for you to come into the neighborhood banging DMX. It doesn't make any sense to me. You being the whitest guy in the fucking
honestly,
neighborhood."
Though,
But I was like, "But I live with you."
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like,
You're embarrassing me.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Man, it's just not right.
one of the greatest things about
So
rap
he just
music,
started
one of the
listening to
greatest things
country.
about rap music is even as a culture, from a cultural standpoint, people look at it and be like, well, rap music has denigrated, black society and this and that. To some extent, that's true. But at the same time, it has got out to a broader audience.
It has.
Not just white America here in the United States, but period, in the world. And at least that people are listening to the music, and at least they hear people's plights.
It was a platform to voice
100%.
their lives for the most part. The
But
good ones did it right.
You
know?
goddamn.
There's some of them talking about my
Rakim,
bling, and I
what
can
I'm
do all
saying?
this and that, and I can do
And
this. It's like, okay, guys.
That's
I
my
get
beef, but I think that.
But you get somebody like Pac.
I think I'm getting old, man. I think that's
It's
what this
okay.
shit is. You know what
I
I mean?
know.
It's like the
You
music
can hear
ain't
it.
made for me no more. You know what
I know. I'm with
so
you.
I'm like, shit, I don't want to listen to this.
That's not music.
What kind of filth, foreign filth is this shit? You know what I mean? And it's like, you know what I mean? What is this wobble music and mumble? What the hell? And I feel that, because I'll when my kids put it on and I'll listen to it. I'm like, man, we're gonna turn this bullshit off.
That's
I feel like I'm a hater.
I know.
You what I'm
I know
saying?
what you mean.
So, but and it just intrigues me that this is the music that is number one now, and this is what everybody's listening to. Not all the shit that I came from, like the KRS Ones and the Rakims and Pac and all
NWA,
NWA
I know,
and
I'm with
Public
you.
Enemy, like shit like that, to where they were actually trying to uplift Poor Righteous Teachers, things like that, to where they were trying to
Gangster
uplift.
Yeah.
Except, of course, where they were trying to uplift us
Yeah.
and be really a voice.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're gonna take the most worst part of society. We're going to
And
elevate
put the
that.
shit that they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis in their music.
That's gonna be number one.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
And that's why we're talking like this on this show.
Well, let me ask you guys this then too. So, do you think that today's rap music doesn't have the same flavor that it did back then because it's not they don't necessarily, the people who are saying what they're saying is not, they're not actually going off of what the original
No.
rappers
I
producing?
don't know about
It gets white girls to move around.
Well, here's my personal thing.
That's what I'm looking for.
Is my personal view on it is like when we was like when when we was in the 90s and this and that, when Ice Cube and Dre and
Yep.
all them people was coming out, even Two Live Crew and all that shit, right? They were painting a picture
Yep.
of what the neighborhood looked like, what the ghetto looked like, what their situations were, what other people were going through in these hostile situations and shit like that.
That most white people would never know.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's why there was so much intrigue.
Yep.
Now these punk motherfuckers, they doing it. You know what I'm saying? They like shooting, like this other dude just got killed, and it's cartoony.
Right.
It's stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's cartoony. It's like, it's like hyper ego, hyper, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like, what you looking at, dog, and this and that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you're getting killed for
Well,
this shit.
can
Over
no
dumb
one see
shit.
what
Yeah,
happened?
I
Can no
agree.
one see what happened?
I
Like,
saw
it got
Trust me.
scary because you had a reason to be afraid. You had a reason to be afraid if you were a black person getting pulled over by a cop,
Well, yeah.
especially a white cop. You had a reason to be afraid. So you were defensive.
Yeah,
And
well,
that
well,
was
people
scary to people that were on the other side of that.
Well,
I mean,
I get that.
if you're a defensive person.
I've admitted
and
that on
you're-
the show.
It's a
Like I could walk
double-edged
down
sword.
K Street
It's
right
a
now and I'd be
double-edged
nervous.
sword.
I
Right.
get
It's
it.
double-edged sword,
I
man.
get
I
it.
didn't live.
Double-edged
Look, I didn't live in Oakland. I didn't live in
Absolutely.
Compton. I mean, not lived in Compton. I didn't live in Long Beach. I didn't live in. I didn't live in a lot of places that's sketchy as shit. And the thing about it is, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because like the white audience and everything like that, and they're intrigued to the dark side. They're intrigued by what's going on in this neighborhood and everything like that,
Sure.
and what's happening with these people collectively, whether it be in the east, west, south, whatever. And they're adamant about what's going on in these people's lives right now. when they turn off the music, they still in the suburbs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they heard all this shit. And
Yep.
even though they think it's cool, they don't want that shit closer down.
No.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I want that shit.
Right.
It sound cool and everything to a 6'4" Impala roll up next to your ass in Kirkland. And you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And then
Looking at
it's
you crazy. You know what I'm saying?
intimidating.
No,
People are
it's-
intimidated.
It's a
Yeah.
completely different. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're dealing with. So we're
Right.
dealing
That's-
with
it's
with
called-
the
it's called
stereotype
NIMBY.
of
It's
man.
called-
I think it's so cool, but at the same time, it's like, hey man, I heard they shoot each other, man. I didn't listen to they. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't
It's a
listen to Young
whole,
Jeezy
like,
and all that
it's
shit.
a
you know
buildup
what I'm
of like
saying? So,
this. It's a buildup. It's
Yeah.
back and forth. It's
Yeah.
like cops made
Yeah.
people of color be afraid, and people of color made cops be afraid, and it's a back and forth.
Well-
it's like in a
well, think about-
collective situation.
Well,
That's
think about
exploded.
society, and this
Like,
is a
honestly.
selfishness of people in general. It's called NIMBY. It's called
Yeah.
not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Let's help homeless people. Let's help
Yeah.
them. But okay, we're gonna build something next to your place in your neighborhood to help homeless people. They're like,
Hell
no, not around here.
No.
Not
No.
here. You know,
Right.
they don't want it in their backyard. They don't
No.
want it around here.
No.
And
Well,
that's the thing. How do you fucking fix something? If people are saying one thing, but they do something different.
well, that's
That's that
what
bullshit.
that's what we're dealing with now.
That's
You know
that
what I'm saying?
bullshit. Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with now. you know?
backyard.
Yeah, not in my backyard. It's like, again, well, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Golf
Exactly.
courses.
Yeah. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want us in your neighborhoods and everything like this. But again, the media, whether it be music and this and that, it takes 10% of black culture and it features it.
Yeah.
It throws it on the media
Yes,
and
it
this and
does.
that. And then all of a sudden, that represents the other 90% of black people who just like the music
Yeah.
and who are going to college. I'm like, who's going to all these HBCUs?
Yeah.
Who's doing all this shit? Who's graduating? Who's becoming senators and doctors and lawyers? And where are all these black? How are they not accounted for?
It actually helped
in
me
said
though,
shit,
because
you
I
know?
can walk through Gig Harbor and people stop. Now, I went to the
no.
grocery
Yeah.
store the
Tell
other
it.
day and I'm
Tell
walking
it.
out and I had my mask on, so they can't see me smiling
Yeah.
because I got my mask on,
Yeah.
right? So I'm walking that store in this car. It was a fucking Land Rover.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was some rich white person from Gig Harbor. Okay, it's fine. They got money. So they're flying through the parking lot, and I looked at them and they stopped skirt in the parking lot quick. And it wasn't because I think they saw me or gave a shit, but they saw that I was black.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Tell
But-
about the Santa guy.
but I mean mugged them as I walked by all badass while I'm smiling under my mask because I was like, oh, they know
That's
they're
not
scared. They
even
saw
the
me.
good story.
No, here's another one. This one's really good, Carl. So
Yeah.
when we've been living in this neighborhood, what, month and a half now? Okay, out here. So my daughter and I are walking in to Safeway again, the grocery store. I tend to go to the grocery store every day for some reason. Usually
You're
because I'm
stupid.
He doesn't know how to
You're
meal
fucking
prep.
stupid,
It's fine.
and he doesn't listen
I
to
like
me.
fresh fucking food. I don't want to take my shit out of the
Whatever,
freezer,
dude.
right?
Anyway.
So here's the deal.
Or he knows how to meal prep. He's just really shitty at it.
Yeah, really shitty.
Shut the fuck up, Carl. All right, here we go. So I'm walking in with my daughter, and there's this dude up there, white guy, you know, and Merry Christmas, everybody, and he's handing everybody stuff as they come in, you know, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I come walking in right next to him, and he just stops and he looks at me like,
Yeah.
and ghosted me. He ghosted me.
say anything.
And Eva, my 12-year-old daughter, is laughing the entire time. She was like, Dad, he saw you were black. He was scared.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, maybe. I'm not sure. And when I went out, we went out the same door to try to see if he was still there. He was gone.
Yeah.
He like split. He's like, well, I don't want him to come back out this
Yeah.
door. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of weird. At the same time, super funny, though.
Yeah,
But
you know
was
what?
that it?
You know what
But
I
was
love?
that really it?
You know
I
what
don't
love?
know. I don't
I'm
know.
going to tell you what I do love about this new racism shit. You know what I'm saying? This new racism shit has like racist white people acting like they act in the South. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do get
So
that,
like
yeah.
people from the South can come here and you be like, man, that racism in the South is fresh and it's like, it ain't gonna know. It's like they have that shit perfect.
Right.
Out here, everybody was like, you know, in the cuts, they didn't want to say nothing and this
Right.
and that. They would, you know, give you a slight here and that, but they wouldn't say nothing.
Right.
But this new shit is like they have evolved Karens,
Right,
And they
exactly. I
have
get it.
evolved other dudes who are called Karens or whatever, whatnot. But this is a good thing because now you're just like, oh, I didn't know you was racist as shit. Now I do now.
Yeah.
Now I know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing,
Putting
though.
a lot of things on the table.
I get what you're saying too, man. But you had said like that music kind of identified maybe a small percentage of black people
Yeah,
back
of
in the
course.
day. But you know, I can see how those suburban people could
Yeah.
listen, and then all of a sudden they
Of
think
course.
all of them are that
Where
way,
did it?
right?
Where did it
Right?
hit? It hit
Right.
the suburbs.
So
That's who was listening.
That's who was listening to it. Okay,
Yeah.
so but that's fucked up for me, or even you. You're a very articulate guy, right? You're not your stereotypical black guy that is on the streets running and doing drive-bys.
Yeah.
You're not that guy.
How you know?
But
How you know?
maybe you are. I don't know. Fuck shit.
Anyway, I'm running for some shit.
I could be that girl for
I'm
all
just
you
saying.
know.
No, but go ahead.
But
I get it.
don't you think that's kind of fucked up though, to be judged
mean-
even in that way? It's
I
like
mean,
I
yeah,
got something
man,
off
but
of it. I thought it was
yeah,
funny, but I'm like,
but-
dude, I'm a nice guy. I wouldn't hurt you, dude.
But
I
you
wouldn't
know,
hurt you.
on
I'm
the,
just
you know, I mean,
a Safeway guy can hand me the thing.
again,
He's fine.
again, and it's honest, man. I mean, there's some shit I'm scared of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's some
no, I
shit
get
in
it.
downtown, and I'm 6'4",
Yeah.
a good about 240, and I can handle with my hands. I can get with any man God created.
He getting old though.
With my hands, that's okay. I only need a good round. I didn't save like 4
give me
rounds,
one.
man.
I
I
need
got
one.
4
I got
rounds
4.
left, and I'm saving that
He
shit
could be
until
somebody's
my 70s.
black dad,
That's
right?
I'm just saying.
He could, though.
So, but what I'm saying is like
maybe
this
2.
shit is like, you know what I'm
maybe
saying?
2.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, I know that you may look at me, you know what I'm saying? But that's a shortcut to thinking. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's also people that I look at. You know what I'm saying? And they coming close to my car and I'll be like, click.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just I don't know. It's like, I know you're a brother and everything like that, but you know, I don't know.
No, I get it.
I mean, you know what I'm
And
saying? I
that's-
know we all supposed to be cool, but you know.
And then and that's kind of a
I didn't
human
get-
experience,
okay,
right?
I've
We
been
all have
robbed-
that feeling.
I've been robbed 3 times. And
See what I'm saying?
every single time it's been by you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
One dude sat next to me on a BART, man, and he had a gun in his hand like that. He folded his arm and he sat right next to me and put the pistol on me. He was like, man, run me your wallet. And I was like, are you kidding me? He was like, click. I was like, damn, brother, we supposed to be
Homie.
here for each other. He was like, well, I'm here for you. I'm here for your wallet. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I gave him,
No, I get it.
but
And
you
that's
know,
the
but,
sad part.
But here's the cool thing. He gave me a wallet back. He took the money. He was like, here, man, you're gonna need that, and just jumped off the thing. And you know, so it's not that the stigmatism is wrong. It's
Right.
not like all black people is mean and this and that. It's like, no, he can be cool. It's like, no, that dude could be a piece of shit too.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So you do have to be aware.
Right.
But I'm just saying, in normal circumstances, man, when you meet people and there's an
Yes.
expectation, you meet them and this and that, and you got to give them that. You got to give them that jump off, man. You got to give them that opportunity to show you who they are.
What kind of person they are.
Exactly, man.
I'm with
and,
you, man.
and that's what we don't get. You know
That's
what I'm
what we
saying? It's
don't
like
get.
as soon as they see me walk in, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, Carl Covington. That didn't
Yeah.
seem like him at all.
Yeah, and when I talked to him on the phone, he definitely didn't sound
Yeah,
black.
exactly. You know what I mean?
I've got 2 guys coming to set today. It's Aaron Carlson and
Carl
Carl
Covington.
Covington. So, can somebody call a black guy, please? Because we should have some color on the show.
That's what I'm saying. They be like, can we see Carl? Yeah, I'm Carl Covington.
Yeah,
You
what's
know
up,
what I'm saying?
motherfucker?
I come up in
You come
there.
in like Dokes, like
There's
from
me.
Dexter. Surprise, motherfucker.
But you know, so you know, and I've dealt with that. You know,
Yeah.
I've dealt with that a lot in my life, and you know, that's not why I'm articulate this and that. I did that because you know, I just wanted to, you know, myself to be better.
Yeah. of
So
course.
as a result, you know, what I mean, I paid a lot of money to go Cal Berkeley, man. Shit. So yeah, I have a very good vernacular in this and that. But
Yes.
you know, at the same time, I can be when I walk up sometimes before I say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get that eye, and people get wide-eyed or something like that, or look up because I'm tall and big, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't know what to expect. And it's how you come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's how you come. It's how you break those ice. You know, that ice barrier, whatever.
Yeah, man. It's some crazy shit.
Hell yeah, it's some crazy shit.
But, you know, I think that I'd have to tend to agree with you that the change is happening.
Mhm.
But
Slowly.
but also on the flip side of that coin, the people out there that won't change will find a way to fight any kind
course.
of change.
Of course they will.
Yeah,
Of course
depending
they
on
will.
how severe it would be is we'll see.
But if you look at it, they're okay. So there was a time to where the militia and everything it was huger than the people that was under the thumb. Does that make sense? Like you have more people that would chase black people and beat your ass and this and that.
Sure.
And now those numbers aren't as wide anymore.
Right,
Those
right.
margins aren't as wide anymore. That's why when people, you know, who were in the Proud Boys and was like, watch what we do next and watch this, and they're threatening us, believing that they still have the strength that they used to have.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. I played Risk. I know.
To where they had that shit in the 1940s and 50s,
Yeah.
and you believe that you still have that type of following, and you don't.
The pawns have moved.
You don't.
Yeah.
You do not. I mean,
Yeah.
just by me and the older white man, he's a staunch Republican. I won't say his name, but we had this conversation, And he was like, well, Trump should have won and this and that. And I was like, no, he shouldn't. Mathematically. I can tell you mathematically without looking at anything why he lost. And he was like, well, why did he lose? I was like, okay. Well, first thing is he ostracized all of the baby boomers.
Yeah.
Once he said that, hey, man, this virus needs to go through the country and it's going to take out whoever it needs to take out and the rest of us, but we got to keep living in the country, right? Guys like me and you was like, well, it makes sense. Older people were in the, that generation.
In that
was like,
risk category.
It was like, fuck that, dude. You're talking about me.
Yeah, I don't want to die.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to live.
So just that right now, 100% of them, 70% of them voted against him.
Yeah.
And that was him.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about women. Okay. Like, what have you said about women? What have you said? Not like what people in the media and this and that. You think women didn't hear you say that shit out your mouth?
Yeah.
Out your mouth. Like about Rosie O'Donnell being stupid and fat and this and that.
Right.
And all these other things that you've said about women and denigrated them.
Yeah.
So there's some women that are going to be on your side and be like, well, I understand that's just
locker room talk.
Yeah. And then there's the rest of them.
Yeah.
You talk shit about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like 80%,
like most women do.
Yeah, there was
like we
no.
don't say that shit
It
at
was like,
home.
no, that ain't no
it.
locker room talk.
Right,
What kind of locker room y'all been in?
You're
Y'all
big
talk
time.
about that in your locker room? Oh, we got to tear the locker room down. There's no more locker room for
exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And then you keep going. Okay, people of color, do I need to say shit else? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't even have to say nothing.
Yeah.
When it was like, well, 20% of black people is all we need. I was like, 80% of black people you didn't get.
Yeah.
Hispanic, this, that. All of these numbers are all smaller in comparison to voting for you as compared to voting against you.
Correct.
And then we'll just look at Caucasian in general. 100% of them, out of 100% of them, 50% voted against him, 50 of them voted for him. So just by using those numbers and the art of subtraction, you can see how you lost.
Yeah.
Period.
It's pretty clear.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you
It
can
wasn't
go to state to
inflated.
state,
There
be
wasn't
like,
any
well, I won
fucking-
here and I won there and I won there and I didn't win.
Wait, are you telling me there was no voter fraud?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh shit.
Brother, I don't know. All I'm just saying is like collectively, there was like we found votes
There was
here.
no
I'm
vote.
like, brother,
Yeah,
y'all
it's-
reaching,
it's-
man.
yeah,
Y'all
it's
reaching like
a
mud.
bunch of
you know what I'm saying?
bullshit. Yeah.
But
Take your loss, move on.
But these are sore losers.
They are, man.
They sore
are.
losers,
They're big
man.
babies.
They can't-
And they can't get their way, and they're mad as fuck.
No, again,
They're spoiled. They're spoiled asses.
But look at their president.
I
Their
know.
president is the same dude that I told you this. He seemed like a fat baby
Yeah.
who's in the candy stores like, I want candy.
Yeah,
I want.
yeah.
And then his, supporters are like, here you
And
go,
he didn't get his
Donald.
way, and he threw a
Calm
fucking
down,
fit.
Donald. Just because you don't have to tear up shit just because you want a Snickers.
No, he
you know?
he tore up the whole fucking house.
And that's what it was. You
That's
know
what
what I
it
mean?
was. He had a
And
fit.
then they do that. It was like, how could you allow him to do that? How could you enable him to do that? And then the insurrection happened. He was like, oh, because y'all like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because y'all like that.
Yeah.
That's why you was enabling him to be like that, because y'all like that.
It's ridiculous.
You see what I'm saying?
I
so,
do.
So from a linear standpoint, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why he's not president now. Not is Biden doing a better job? I don't know. I think they're doing the same job.
They're doing the same thing.
Except this dude ain't wrestling enough hate.
he ain't trying to ruffle the feathers.
That is it.
That's it.
They both hardly doing shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just enough. What they say? They pay you just enough to be broke or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
That's exactly what
You're
they're doing.
being just enough president.
And I
for us
agree
to be
with you
broke.
on that. I agree with
know
you.
what I'm
But you're right. There isn't that divisive factor. There
no.
isn't that king that's looking for power trying to divide and conquer. It's not there anymore.
It's like,
It's different.
when you start talking about like in Kim Jong-un and, Vladimir Putin and shit like that, I'm like, brother, you can't be president. You can be senator. You can be a doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be a governor.
Yeah.
But like a president, I was like, brother, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's for all the people.
You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how we operate.
Correct.
You know?
You know what we're going to do, Carl, from here on out?
What's up, brother?
We're going to do a segment on our show called Controversial Shit with Carl.
Let's do it.
And the audience, you guys are going to get to hear Carl Covington here and
I don't know
there,
if that's good
once
or
in a
bad.
while.
That's
No, it's a
good.
good thing. It's a good
That's
thing.
not bad.
You've got a lot to say.
Thank you.
And you're an actor. He makes movies too, guys. But we love your voice and we love you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming down here today, and we're gonna get you a part of this show somehow.
I appreciate it, man. You know, more importantly, it's like, and that's all good that I'm able to speak up.
Yeah.
You know, but more importantly, look, your dog right here, man. This boy is like, let me tell you something. I am a boy. Okay?
He can't stop.
We don't go sniffing down there.
No,
bro.
he can't
You
stop.
jealous or something? What's that?
He is.
Yeah, that's way from
yeah,
around.
yeah. He nibbles. He nibbles at mine. Thank
Yes,
God.
he do come there. That's
Yeah.
He's been pulled and sniffed and everything else. So yeah, he's jealous of
I'm
everybody.
just
Yeah,
saying.
he nibbles at mine, but thank God I'm half white. He misses all the
He in
time.
the package. He looking surprised.
Let
Like,
me
they
sum it
come
up.
this-
Let me sum it up.
Yeah.
Special. My
Thank
dog is special needs.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait a second. That goes for like every animal you ever had.
And so,
True. Possum with special needs.
you know what? Can I just?
Yeah,
you know,
I got one more thing too. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. I encourage that people that not just speak up, and not just speak out, and not just go out and be advocates and shit like that, but and definitely maybe not follow my way and just let people
Let them have it.
Yeah,
I got
you know what I'm
you.
saying? That's again, but here's the thing: we need to start having the right conversations. Does that make sense? And I want to
Yes.
draw a line in the sand when I say that shit. And draw a line in the sand, meaning like we can't have these same ticky-tack, top of the iceberg conversations that we've been having and expect to get new answers, because these are old questions that have been answered, and we don't live in that type of society. But there's so much shit underneath the iceberg that we actually need to address, talk about, and listen to each other. And then, I think that, in the future, it's not going to happen in the next 10, 15 years or something. But at least we can start breaking this bullshit, cloud that we have over us and start moving forward. But it's really going to start asking the right questions and coming up with the right answers.
I like your iceberg analogy. The heaviest part of the iceberg is on the bottom.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of pain
So
and
it's not
fear
about racist cops.
there.
And I just want to
Yeah.
say that real
Yeah.
quick. It's not about racist cops. There's racist cops. There's racist black cops. There's
Oh,
racist
yeah.
Yeah,
black
absolutely.
cops
Oh, yeah.
that subjugate Hispanics and
Yeah,
this
that's
and
all surface shit.
it's cops. So let's look at that shit rightly divided and say, okay, what do we need to fix the police department? Not white police. Period. The dude up in Milwaukee, the head chief, that black dude,
Yeah.
he black.
Yeah, he's a black man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he don't. So that just lets you know that it's not just white people
not
that are
just
doing
white
this.
people,
This is a
yeah.
collective.
It's a mental. It's a mental
it's a
state.
collective
mentality.
thing.
Yes, it
And
is.
as soon as we start seeing that, then we can stop trying to chop it up like it's white people and black people. You can't.
Right.
It's like, no, you can't trust they ass.
Right,
They
like
black,
you said
white,
earlier.
and everything.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you're white, but you ain't white.
Yeah, you ain't. You know what I'm saying?
I
You on
got
my.
you.
If the shit went down right now, I was like, man, choose a side. He was like, I'm on this side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Quick. And I know plenty of people just
Yeah.
like him. I mean,
Absolutely.
thousands.
Me too.
That'd be like, I'm on this side.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing is like, when I die, Rich Pryor said this shit a long time ago, and I'm saying to my son, hopefully he listened to it. And he was like, man, I'm not scared of the Rockefellers or this or that, or I'm not scared of JP Morgan Chase and all of those things, Nixon, whatever. He's like, the biggest thing that scares me is one day my son's gonna walk up to me and say, what did you do, Daddy, when the shit was going down?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And it wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't.
And he's the funniest comedian ever.
Right, right.
That sparked me when I was like 13 years old.
Me too.
And so when I hear that, I know that my son's looking.
And
Good or
he-
bad, even if he never goes into anything that I'm ever doing, I know that he's listening.
Yeah.
And my daughter and my other son. So, at one of these days, I'm like, you know what? At least my dad had the nuts enough to speak up. Regardless of whether, people denigrated him and this and that and kick him off Facebook or whatever. Right? But at least he had the wherewithal to go out there and speak it. You know what I mean? And put himself out there and be vulnerable and whatever and be subject to people throwing rocks or whatever. And that's
Well,
cool.
and that's the point. No matter what color you are, you have to stand up against
Yeah.
shit that's wrong.
Absolutely.
No matter who you are.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing to show your kids is that you can stand up for what's wrong, and you should stand up for what's wrong.
And I wish I could say
Or
it
what's
as
right,
good
right.
as Carl
Stand up
did.
for what's
Yeah.
right. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry. Like,
But I know what you
stand
meant,
up against what's wrong.
Yeah, I know. I know,
what
what
you
you
said.
meant.
I was a mess.
I wish I could be as eloquent as Carl with that stuff. That's
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I've been trying to
Yeah.
say this whole time, and I get labeled with asshole. But
Oh,
I want
and
my
try
I
to say
want
it and I fuck it all up. But
It's
yeah.
how
it's
you-
fine.
it's how
But
you
I want my
make it, you know what I mean?
I try to teach my kids the same thing.
Yes.
I want them
Yeah.
to be strong
Of course.
in that way,
Yeah.
so that sticks and stones kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I honestly believe in that.
Names
And-
hurt people nowadays, man.
and
Whole cancel culture is
Oh,
built
my
off name
God.
calling.
That's
That's
where
a whole
that's
nother-
Oh,
real quick. I know, real
yeah.
quick. I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
since we were talking about the different groups of people and dealing with the
Oh, let's do it.
racist stuff, just real fast before
Let's
we end
do
the
it.
show, real
Let's do
fast.
it.
How did you feel about the Dave Chappelle stuff with what he had to say about the LGBTQ in his last episode. And in that regard, isn't it kind of funny, some of the things he said and how truthful they were about how fast that LGBTQ has moved forward?
Yes.
As opposed to how black has.
I have thought that. I thought that before his show.
Okay, so it's a funny joke. It's a funny bit.
Yes,
but he took a lot of shit for it.
But it's
fucking true.
But it's true. It's true.
Okay, go ahead. Just before we end the show, please.
It's absolutely. I mean, I listened to it, and I'm a huge Dave Chappelle fan. Like since Killing Them Softly, since before that shit.
Yep.
You know, so it's not like I have watched literally everything that he's done. You know. Everything, like the small little stand-ups and everything before he did the Chappelle show, all that shit. You know, I'm a historian on comedy, you know, and he's definitely on.
I could tell you picked up on some of my stuff.
My Mount
that I got
Rushmore,
from
you know what I'm saying?
comedians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I think that what he said, and it was fundamental, he said, people are going to be pissed at this if they don't watch the special. He said, and you're going to be able to tell who didn't watch it because they will immediately try to cancel me.
Yeah.
But let me tell you how badass he is. He came on the show and immediately said, like within 10 minutes, he said, look, man, it's going to be my last special
That's what
for
he
a
said.
minute. So y'all ass ain't going to see me no more.
Yep.
So, and then he segued about 5-10 minutes later. He said, okay, we're getting to the deep shit. Okay, I'm keep going. And he lets you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he lets you know the honest to God truth. Now, here are things that he's saying that people think and they don't want to say because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. Right? It's like my feelings is hurt. It's like, I don't want to say this. Like he said, how much do I have to invest in your reality of how you think of yourself? Do I have to start saying that because that's how you feel? Is that what it is? Is that being honest? Is that me being honest, or is that me being honest for you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
It's like, brother, do your thing, man. I have people. I mean, look, I'm not one of those people like, I got a gay aunt. I know gay. They know who I know. Yeah. Those people who are in that community, they know me, and they know I love. And I don't have shit to say. And if you have shit to say to me, come talk to me. We can talk about it again. But at the same time, yes, man, a lot of things that he was saying was just true. It's just truthful.
Yes.
It's like, well, how did you piggyback the black agenda?
Yeah.
How did you? A lot of it has to do with Barack Obama. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because he really
on controversial shit.
He really championed the LGBTQ community, which is awesome.
Yeah, he did.
There's nothing wrong.
He
with
helped
that.
them.
There's nothing wrong with that, but brother, we needed some shit too. I'm like, I don't know if you knew or not. Maybe you were in the braids with a white woman. No, I'm just playing. I'm just fucked up. That was messing. But at the end of the day, I'm like, brother, we could have used some of that love too, man. We could have used some of that shit too. We could have used this and whatnot. And so, not that he did anything wrong. Yeah, you did what you were supposed to do. But at the same time, man, we needed that help too.
Yeah.
We needed to be on that same playing field. We shouldn't have to ask and be like, well, why did that happen to them and not to us? It's like, we've been waiting 400 years and, and we shouldn't be having these conversations. People know the black plight. It's not something that's just like, and it's always something that's dismissed.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you get off welfare, you get off this, you get off that, you get off this, you get off that, and then we'll help you. It's like, well, motherfucker, if I do all that, I don't need your help.
I don't need your help.
What do I need your help for? I need those helps to get out of this.
Well, they're afraid that you're going to stay in that.
And then I got it. No, man.
Because you're a lazy black person and you can't do anything.
They want you to stay in it for the same reason that Bill Gates is a billionaire. So they can be like, look at how they are. Yeah. And then I want to be like this guy, even though he's not even the most powerful guy in the world. He's just rich.
It's just American dream,
you see what I'm saying?
Come on, it's American dream.
So they can demonize this. You got to keep me here because if you don't, who are you going to point at?
Right.
If you give me the access, we've already shown you that if you give me help and that you don't even have to give me a job. I'll find that. Just give me the resources that I need to, get me up to speed, and I'll get what I'm supposed to have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we're not addressing. Anyway,
another
show.
There you go. Carl, it's been a pleasure, man.
Truth bombs, baby. Let's do it.
No, I love it. And Sam, thank you for letting us have a controversial show with Carl.
Yes. Thank you.
What happened to your mic, Sam?
Dog.
How'd the dog have anything to do with your mic?
The dog started
Leo.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
You have a dog.
The dog started acting like shit, so I took my mic off so he would quit.
I really
Okay.
want
Rub it
to. I
on
really
it.
want to tell you guys. I appreciate that you guys are having this dialogue. You know, that you're opening the door up to this, and that you're willing to, because we need more forums like this. We have too many
Seriously.
bullshit forums.
Yes.
I
To
know.
where it's like people's like, yeah, man, but black people, we wasn't treated like this shit and that shit, and they drink Courvoisier or
No, I
some
know.
bullshit, and they're not. And it becomes, again, it's one of those stereotypical shows, those
Yeah.
homeboy shows, to where you just look at it and everybody's like, you're not coming up with you're not coming up
I
with
get it.
you're not coming up with intelligent ideas. You're coming up with bullshit. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, I just need money. Just give us money. Y'all
Yeah.
give us money or this or that. It's like, no, man.
We're
Think
not about the money.
Think
We're
of a
just
plan.
about being
I
real.
don't want money. Keep your goddamn money. I don't
Yeah.
need money.
Right.
We need opportunity.
Right.
That's
Opportunity, I'll get my own money. Opportunity, I can grow that money exponentially.
This is a platform for everybody we know that is
be
making
real.
films or wants to, who's in the industry across the board. But with the industry comes real life.
Yeah.
And we wanted to separate ourselves from every other fucking show that's out there that does stuff about this. I don't want to sit here and do a scripted interview with our guests. None of us
No.
did.
God, no.
That wasn't the
No.
thing. I want to get to know the fuck you are
Yeah.
and why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And once we get to know who you are and do what you do, we can talk about this kind of shit.
Brother,
Yeah,
I'm way more
yeah,
interested
yeah.
in any character I'll ever act as.
See what I mean?
It's like,
I know.
I mean, that's just, I mean,
beautiful.
I'm not,
Hey
I'm not
man,
saying
we
that.
can write some cool shit.
It's beautiful.
But you know, my,
But
my,
you are you.
yeah, my
and
real
you are
life
way
is
more
reflected.
interesting.
Yeah, my real life is reflected. You know, I've been much more on the advocacy side. You know,
Yeah.
since I was in my 20s, younger than that. So I've always been in that lane. I've always been, you know, and now it's just, now I'm getting older. Now I get the forum
Yeah.
to speak on it, which is awesome. And,
Yeah.
You know, I'm thankful for that.
Well, you have a voice,
yeah.
and not everyone does. And that's cool that you're able to speak for those that don't.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that feel like you do the same shit the
Yeah.
same way, but they don't have that voice to be able to speak it. And so it's great that you can speak for those people.
Absolutely. And I want to say too, and I know Chuck would probably follow this up, but I'm proud of you being the father you are.
Literally,
That's
like
fucking
honestly,
badass.
so
100%.
Yeah, you're teaching them kids right.
You know what?
You are.
I'm gonna, you know,
are.
I'm not gonna get sentimental or anything. So
okay.
I lost my mom. You know, I lost my mom in September.
Not too long ago,
Yeah, I lost my mom. in
We're
September.
sorry about that.
No, it's, you know what? She's in a better place now. You know, and you know, I looked at a lot of things, and just me personally, as an actor, as a person, and this and that. I've been playing things scared for like the last couple of years, and just like staying status quo, and just, you know, being a little bit successful here and put myself out there. But like with this whole ordeal that happened, it really shut me down in a lot of ways. It made me refocus, rethink, and look at, you know, the what's around me.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just talking about it, like saying it, getting it out there, and not playing scared anymore. You know what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you're out there playing scared, baby, ain't no more scared business. Inbox me, man. Let's go. You know what I mean?
And if you need a ride to the airport,
Call
I
Chuck.
think I've seen 2 posts now in the last like 3 months of Carl dropping guys off at the airport.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Got their back. No,
Hey,
no.
hey, what's his name? Richie Ramone, man. I didn't kick it with it. I didn't kick it with a lot of people took their ass to the airport, but
I think
But,
the last
but-
one was Cameron.
But yeah, camera. But you know, again, now, you know, I think it's just a time to where, like, you know, as a society collectively, we can't play scared anymore. We can't play, you know, we can't play identity politics, and we can't play soft when it comes to saying what's actually real. You know, and sometimes you're gonna have to ruffle feathers, and sometimes you're gonna have to hurt feelings.
Yeah.
But here's the good news about that. Here's the good news. You're gonna be okay. Like, you're not gonna come down with COVID because your feelings hurt. You know,
Yeah.
you're not gonna, you know, drop dead from leprosy or cancer or something like that because your feelings hurt. Sometimes your feelings need to be hurt for you to be sharpened.
Yeah.
You know, or
That's
for you to be
absolutely right.
ignited, or, you know, maybe have a new way of thinking. So,
Unfortunately,
Well said, Carl.
that's the only way I learn.
yeah.
Well
Like
said,
when
Carl.
these two can talk to me all nice. When they're actually mad at me and they say what they
That's
really
when he
feel,
listens.
that's when I hear them.
It's like, why you ain't tell me this shit before? It's like, we have literally
Yeah.
We have
been telling you this
tried,
for
but-
months.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it because they're all tippy-toeing around it. And then when they go, "You motherfucker, you do this," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I hear it now.
Do it one more time.
I gotta hear it that way."
Yeah,
but I
but-
was raised that way.
Yeah, and so, and that's how I am as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, feed them
Should I carry a fry pan?
It's like,
I'm sorry.
It's not my responsibility how you receive the information. So whether I give it to you through a water hose or through a fire hose,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, the way you receive the information is how you receive it. But it's not, you know, I'm not gonna stop myself.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop myself from saying what I truly believe is my truth. And I don't give a shit how many times they kick me off Facebook, Instagram, or whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one shot to do it.
Yeah.
And this
I
is
agree.
it. So it's like, even on a small platform, because I'm not on a big platform, I'm small. But at the same time, even on this platform, I'm speaking my truth.
It always
If it
matters.
gets bigger, then I'm
Always
speaking on
speak
that
your
one.
truth.
You know?
Always.
On that note, that's where we'll end it because that's good.
100%.
Yeah.
Super good. Thank you, Carl.
Yes, and we had Carl on again for a reason.
Yes.
Because we love Carl. The first time we had him on, and we love him again this time because
Appreciate you
he's
guys.
real. He's real, and he has real shit to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this time he's been through some more shit than
Right.
the last time we talked to him,
Oh, yeah.
and he's even more real and
Right.
even more there.
Oh, yeah.
And we love that about you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
I appreciate the forum that you guys have. Man.
Thank you,
Just,
man.
You know, keep doing exactly what you're doing.
We're trying to build
And
it.
just like
We're trying.
push,
We'll keep doing it.
keep pushing.
Absolutely.
Just being real.
Absolutely. It's
Absolutely.
working so far. It's working good. Chuck?
Open my mouth and close us out.
Yeah.
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 Well,
can
I always say a lot of the same things when it comes to closing out the show. Thank you for joining us on Around the Reel. That's always a generic one, but I did a lot of shutting up and listening because sometimes it's important to shut up and listen
It
Sure.
is.
to what
Nothing
people are
wrong with
saying.
that.
Absolutely.
Just listen to what people are saying around you. Now, Sam made a good point earlier in the show about what her great
However many great.
grandfathers did.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you're dead to make a difference in somebody's life.
That's right.
Right.
Or almost dead.
Yeah.
Start.
Or
Start
almost
now.
dead. I mean.
Start now.
Yeah.
Make a difference now.
Uh-huh.
Take the
Yeah.
opportunity and go and do something to help someone. It doesn't have to be what everybody's talking about here on today's show. You
Yeah.
can help anyone at any time. Take a chance and make the opportunity for them.
Can I piggyback off
It
that
makes-
real quick, Jeff?
Yeah.
Of course.
Please do.
Okay, now here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there who won't pick up the axe, or they won't pick up the, you know what I mean? They won't pick up that. But there are plenty of people who just be supportive. You know what I mean? We just need some support. And not just from you sitting on the couch being like, well, I'm raising my children differently, so that's how I'm changing. Man, fuck all that. That's cool. That was cool in the 60s. But in this time, it's action time. You know what I mean? Vote people into office on a local level that will change things.
Vote,
Because it's-
period.
Yeah, it's not the big things that people up in office and in Washington and this we have to worry about. It's people here in the local area
Yep.
that we really need to keep our eye on and really support and really start doing things. Because that we see immediately.
Yeah.
You know, all that other shit is a trickle down effect. But this shit we see immediately. So we need to be we'll get there.
Yes, we will.
Teach our kids to speak up too,
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
Good. Well said, Carl. Thank you.
100%.
Go ahead, Chuck.
With all that said, hey guys, think hard because you're thinking anyway.
We'll see everybody later.
Bye.
I was made for loving you, baby. You were made.
Are you freaking kidding me? Not again.
Change the station.
What is Kiss?
Please.
It's Kiss
No, but we don't know.
It's not Kiss. It's Aaron.
Yeah.
Stop.
Who sings that again?
Tonight.
Kiss?
Yeah.
Let's leave it that way. Thanks.
Well, I thought this was a show about being creative. I was just being creative on the
That's
mic.
not being
Yeah,
creative.
that's
That's just
no being annoying.
Well, maybe I'm trying too hard. Maybe it's a lot
Yes.
simpler.
Aaron, remember, as all good broadcast people know, less is more.
So for radio, if I don't say anything, wouldn't that be kind of a buzzkill?
It would be a
Nope,
great
that
freaking
would-
show.
That would give the rest of us a chance to say something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, then we'd hear something other than you.
Well, I thought around the reel we were going to just have a good time and talk with people.
We
you
do,
know?
but it's not about you, as we have talked about in the past. It's about our wonderful guests, and our wonderful guests can tune in and become a member of our show. How, Sam?
Well, if you want to be a guest on our show, you can go to our website, cccentertainmentgroup.com, and click on the link for guest scheduling for Around the Reel and come be our guest.
Yeah, and then I don't get to talk about myself anymore.
Be
You talk
Oh,
about yourself anyway.
guest. Guest.
Oh, now Chuck's singing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because he was made for loving me, baby. Wait,
What?
that's not all.
Why is
That's
that you?
Yeah, that's weird.
No.
I sang that wrong.
Yeah,
Oops. Sorry.
he was made for loving you, Aaron.
Just remember to keep tuning
And I
in.
wasn't.
Because next week, who knows what's going to happen.
You never know.